The Namek and Frieza Saga is finally here, and I want to thank you guys for being so patient. I'm thinking of covering the Saiyan Saga next, so if you guys want to see that, let's get to 1,000 likes within 24 hours, and that'll be the next saga we cover. The Namek and Frieza Saga takes place after the events of the Saiyan invasion. A small airplane touches down, and Chi-Chi immediately rushes out, vaulting over Goku to get to Gohan. As she takes her son from Krillin's arms in a panic, Krillin reassures her that Gohan is fine, but it's Goku who's in critical shape. Chi-Chi, however, ignores him and vows to never leave Gohan unattended again to prevent further harm, while Krillin continues to express concern about Goku. Krillin approaches where Goku, Bulma, Krillin, and Master Roshi are standing. Goku informs them that the Saiyan Vegeta has escaped, and Krillin relays to Bulma that all but 4 of the Dragon Team members were killed. Bulma isn't worried though, asserting that they'll use the Dragon Balls to resurrect everyone in a year. However, Goku clarifies that with Piccolo's death, Kami is also dead, and the Dragon Balls are no more. Bulma rejects this, convinced that since she only sees Gohan, Goku, and Krillin, the 4th survivor must be Piccolo. Yajirobe, however, sneaks up from behind and announces that he's the 4th survivor. Stunned, Bulma begins to sob over Yamcha's death and the realization that she won't be able to see him ever again. Master Roshi can't believe that Yajirobe outlived Piccolo, and Yajirobe argues that without him, the others wouldn't be alive. Krillin, however, intervenes, suggesting that they focus on getting the wounded to a hospital, given there are no more sensu beans. As night falls, everyone is back on the plane, with Master Roshi at the controls and Bulma still weeping. Krillin directs him to where their friends' bodies are, advising Bulma to hold back her tears as he has some shocking news, as there might be a way to revive those killed by the Saiyans. Goku recalls Krillin mentioning something like this earlier and questions his thought process. However, Krillin defers for a moment, pointing out that they've reached the location of their friends' bodies and instructs Master Roshi to land. Once gathered, they note the absence of Chaozu, who Krillin explains self-destructed, leaving no remains. Anger bubbles in Master Roshi as he examines the corpses and cooling units, and Bulma offers to pilot, claiming she's the most composed at the moment. Eventually, Gohan wakes up, puzzled about why he's in his mother's lap, and inquires about the Saiyan, although Krillin assures him that the threat has passed. When Gohan questions where his dad is, Goku tells him he's right behind him, and that if it weren't for the group, he probably would have died. Yajirobe questions Chi-Chi on why she seems more concerned for her son than her own husband, who's in critical condition. Chi-Chi retorts that Goku is to blame for Gohan's injuries, which Gohan denies. She prioritizes Gohan's future over the Earth's well-being, leading Yajirobe to ask Goku if it's okay to hit her. Bulma then prompts Krillin to revisit his earlier point. Krillin explains that the 2 Saiyans apparently found out about the Dragon Balls from Goku's brother Scouter and came to Earth looking for them. He also explains that when they saw Piccolo, they mentioned he was a Namekian and that he and Kami are aliens. They then mentioned a crucial factor that Namekians not only have high power levels, but some have magic abilities as well, and if they went to a planet called Namek, they might be able to find Dragon Balls more powerful than ones on Earth. This news shocks everyone, and Gohan agrees, stating that he too heard that the Namekians created these magical orbs. Krillin suggests that if they could somehow journey to planet Namek, they might be able to resurrect everyone. Gohan is thrilled at the prospect of Piccolo returning, and Krillin excitedly adds that it would also revive Kami, thereby restoring Earth's Dragon Balls. However, Bulma bursts his bubble, questioning how he plans to locate this distant planet. Goku proposes contacting King Kai for the coordinates, confident that he would know where to find it. Goku questions King Kai on if he's aware of planet Namek's location, and King Kai confirms that he knows. Master Roshi is amazed that they can all hear King Kai speaking, and the Kai expresses his congratulations to the team for defeating Vegeta. Goku then expresses his surprise that his Kaioken technique wasn't effective against the Saiyan. King Kai says he underestimated the Saiyan's power, and Goku states maybe he was wrong to allow him to escape, prompting Master Roshi to inquire about this, to which Krillin promises to fill him in later. King Kai then consults a book to find planet Namek's exact coordinates and reveals them to the Dragon Team. Bulma panics when she hears this and tells Master Roshi to take over the plane while she crunches some numbers. King Kai informs them that planet Namek was once a thriving world until strange weather caused its inhabitants to die off, though some may still be alive. Krillin finds this information hard to believe, while Yajirobe thinks it's a lost cause. As King Kai searches for inhabitants of the planet, Krillin suggests that Kami must have been one of the last survivors who escaped Namek and came to Earth, losing his memory in the process. King Kai then interrupts with news that there are indeed some Namekians still living on the planet, which renews everyone's hope. King Kai explains that the Namekians are peaceful, much like Kami, and speculates that his evil alter ego, Demon King Piccolo, emerged after interacting with evil Earthlings for so many years. Master Roshi ponders the increased chances of reviving their friends, but Bulma dampers their enthusiasm enthusiasm, asking how they intend to get to planet Namek. Krillin suggests using a spaceship, but Bulma dismisses that idea as naive, saying that even with her father's best engine, it would take over 4,000 years for them to arrive. Everyone draws a blank on what to do next, but Krillin proposes using a Saiyan spaceship, stating that Nappas must still be around. Goku adds that his deceased older brother Raditz also left a ship on Earth, although it was destroyed thanks to Gohan. Bulma begins to get excited over the prospect of just one ship remaining, and Master Roshi recalls that it might be found in East City, which the Saiyans destroyed first. Krillin then reveals that he has the remote control Vegeta used for his ship, and feeling hopeful, everyone starts to celebrate. The next day at West City Hospital, Goku is wrapped in bandages and anticipates being healed in 4 months according to doctors, but Korin assures him that the new sensu beans will only take a month to grow before he can eat one. Krillin and Gohan have a shorter hospital stay, and Yajirobe complains about not getting to be a patient, although Korin points out he just wanted the hospital food. Krillin then teases Yajirobe for attempting to get on Vegeta's good side in the face of death, but Yajirobe says he only did it to drop Vegeta's guard. Suddenly, Bulma bursts into the room, urging everyone to watch a TV news report about a round object found amid the ruins of East City. Master Roshi mentions that the object has already been discovered by scientists, but Bulma decides to use the remote control Krillin gave her to bring it to them. However, as they watch on TV, a click of a button destroys the Saiyan spaceship, surprising everyone, including those in the newsroom. Bulma blames Krillin for providing her a faulty remote control, but Krillin retorts, stating that it was her fault for hitting the wrong button. Just then, Mr. Popo appears outside the hospital window, startling Bulma. Krillin recognizes him, and Mr. Popo announces for someone to come with him, as there's another spaceship. Krillin questions if another spaceship really exists, and Mr. Popo replies that it's likely. Roshi wonders who this person is, and Goku clarifies that Mr. Popo lives with Kami, but has been around far longer than him, knowing a lot of ancient gods that were around long ago as well. Puzzled by the word probably from Mr. Popo, Krillin questions him for a clearer answer. Mr. Popo says he's unsure, but suggests that someone accompany him to check it out. Krillin looks to Bulma, who hesitates but eventually agrees to go with Mr. Popo on his magic carpet, cautioning him to be gentle as she's delicate. They vanish, leaving the others wondering about the mysterious spaceship. The carpet reappears in a chilly, windy canyon. Mr. Popo instructs Bulma to disembark, and she questions their location, to which he replies the Unveiled Highlands, shocking Bulma as she reveals they traveled to the other side of the world in an instant. Following Mr. Popo through the canyon, Bulma nervously wonders about his intentions before they finally stumble upon a large, spherical object supported by spiky legs. Mr. Popo questions whether it's a spaceship, and Bulma goes to investigate its surface, asking about its origin and purpose. Mr. Popo then shares a story from about 100 years ago. Kami told him that as a child, he lived in the Unveiled Highlands and was puzzled as to why no one else lived there. Kami had lost his memory due to a head injury and was left with a mysterious note saying someone would come for him later. Mr. Popo goes on to explain that although Kami remained certain that his parents would one day come back for him, he never saw them again, no matter how long he waited for them in Unveiled. Kami waited between 20 and 30 years before giving up and moving on, leaving behind his strange insect-like house with a door that only opened through spoken words. The magic word to open the door that Mr. Popo reveals is Piccolo, and upon uttering it, a section of the object lowers like a platform, and he and Bulma climb aboard and say Piccolo again to enter. Inside, they find a futuristic room featuring a large seat behind a control panel. Bulma realizes that this must have been Kami's house, and theorizes he must have been sent to Earth to escape the cataclysmic weather change on his home planet. Considering why Kami's parents never joined him, Bulma surmises that they must have died shortly after sending him to Earth on his own. She then examines the control panel to figure out how to activate the spaceship, eventually realizing that it might be voice controlled. When the word Piccolo fails to work, Bulma theorizes the ship must only respond to its native language Namekian, and recalls she heard Kami and Piccolo speaking it during the Tenkaichi Budokai. Mr. Popo states that he knows how to speak Namekian himself, and confirms that Piccolo means different world in their language. Bulma instructs Mr. Popo to tell the ship to fly somewhere around Jupiter as a test, and upon command, the ship immediately takes off. Almost instantly, the two arrive at Jupiter, leading to celebrations and Mr. Popo shedding a tear at the thought of Kami being resurrected. Back at the hospital, Bulma announces the group can reach planet Namek in just a month, and with a few modifications to the spaceship, they'll be ready to launch in 5 days. Krillin is thrilled, and Korin notes that Hope is still alive. When Bulma questions if Mr. Popo will be the one going to planet Namek, he declines, explaining explaining that he can't leave Kami's lookout unattended for 2 months and offers to teach her the Namekian language instead. Krillin insists Bulma has to go due to her technical expertise, to which she agrees, but adds that she'll need to install amenities like a shower, bed, and stereo for the journey. Bulma, however, states that she doesn't want to go alone. Yajirobe quickly declines to join, and Korin jokes that no one was expecting him to go anyway. Master Roshi considers a 2-month round trip and offers to go, but Bulma shoots down the idea, saying that him going would only make it worse. With Goku unable to go, she turns to Krillin, who's hesitant about leaving Earth in case the Saiyan returns, but agrees anyway. Gohan then volunteers, and the room falls silent, leaving Chi-Chi in disbelief. Gohan stands his ground, saying Piccolo died to protect him, and that he wants to be the one who brings him back to life. Chi-Chi, however, protests, thinking only of herself and not wanting to worry about her son for another 2 months, concerned about his education falling behind. As Goku's frustration rises, Gohan shouts at his mother to shut up, asserting that he has to go and help, as everyone who died trying to protect the Earth needs to be brought back to life. Both his father and the Ox King commend Gohan's newfound strength, and Bulma concludes that the matter is settled. Time passes as Bulma, her father, and the Capsule Corps employees work on the spaceship, and finally, the day of departure arrives. At Kame House, Krillin, now packed and ready, marvels at the spaceship alongside Master Roshi, although Bulma seems irate given she's overdressed for the occasion. Suddenly, they all notice Gohan's arrival along with Chi-Chi and the Ox King. Dressed in a formal suit and sporting a new bowl haircut, Gohan is hardly recognizable, prompting Krillin to joke him around. Gohan states his dad laughed at him too, and Chi-Chi explains his attire, stating that this is the first time mankind is going into space, and Gohan needs to look presentable. Exhausted but ready, Bulma says it's time to leave. Goodbyes are exchanged, and once on board, an irate Bulma initiates the launch sequence. The spaceship takes off at an incredible speed, leaving Gohan and Krillin unable to fasten themselves in. Now in space, Bulma tells the two that they can move around, and heads to another room to change. Krillin thinks she's going to wear pajamas, and suddenly remembers he forgot to bring his own. Gohan also changes, but into an outfit secretly made to resemble Piccolo's. Bulma returns, not in pajamas though, but in gear suited for adventure, and thus begins the group's journey to planet Namek. As the journey progresses, Bulma wakes up from a nap surrounded by junk food wrappers and magazines. It's been a week, and she's already dreading the remaining 20 days of travel as she's bored. She regrets not creating a long-term sleeping device, and observes Krillin and Gohan engaged in image training shortly after. When Krillin finally pauses to catch his breath, he praises Gohan's strength as Goku's son and a student of Piccolo. Gohan, in turn, admires Krillin's range of techniques. Bulma then insists the two clean up, citing her status as a lady. Krillin, however, retorts that she's responsible for the mess, and that he and Gohan have been cleaning up after themselves. Moreover, she's the one who complained about boredom. Annoyed, Bulma demands they treat her delicately as she stretches and leaves, prompting Krillin to point out that a lady wouldn't walk around in her underwear. At the main console, Bulma wonders where Vegeta could be, recalling how Saiyans purged planets to sell them. She suspects he might be seeking help from other aliens to heal up, and meanwhile, Vegeta's pod is nearing planet Frieza, number 79. Two aliens in similar armor and scouters notice the incoming ship. Initially wondering if it's Frieza, they soon realize it's Vegeta and are puzzled by his unannounced return. They radio others to prepare for his arrival, and upon landing, they find Vegeta badly injured and hooked up to life support, so they rush him to medical care. For a while, Vegeta rests in a healing chamber. Once healed, he emerges from the pod, informed that his tail couldn't be restored, though he's unconcerned. Dressing, he questions Frieza's whereabouts and discovers that he recently left the planet. The alien responsible for healing Vegeta suggests reporting to the training room on the planet to speak to someone named Qui, although Vegeta ignores this and states that he has nothing to say to him. Told he's forgotten his scouter, Vegeta dismissively tells the attendant to keep it as he has no use for it anymore. As he walks through the base, Vegeta plots revenge on the Earthlings. He's soon interrupted by Qui, who mocks the recent failures of the Saiyans and comments on the deaths of Raditz and Nappa. Irritated, Vegeta attempts to ignore Qui, but learns that Frieza eavesdropped on their plans for eternal life via the Scouters. Qui then informs Vegeta that Frieza plans to achieve eternal life and youth for himself via the Dragon Balls on planet Namek, much to the Saiyans' shock. Fuming over the prospect of being a slave to Frieza for the rest of his life, Vegeta rushes past Qui to take off in his pod for Namek. Meanwhile, back on the spaceship, on day 34, Bulma, Krillin, and Gohan finally arrive at their intended destination, planet Namek. As the spaceship nears enters Namek, Gohan and Krillin buckle their seatbelts for atmospheric entry. Despite a semi-rough landing, they touch down successfully. Bulma starts to examine the atmosphere using the sensors from the ship, but Krillin and Gohan are already outside, breathing normally. They discuss the fact that this is Piccolo's home world, prompting Bulma to scold them for recklessly leaving the ship. She then pulls out the dragon radar, and much to her delight, detects the presence of Dragon Balls on the planet. Krillin and Bulma celebrate with a dance, but Gohan interrupts them. He senses multiple strong energy signals nearby, and Krillin senses it too. Bulma dismisses their concerns though, asserting that it's probably just the Namekians. However, Krillin states the ki they're sensing feels evil, but Bulma remains certain that they have nothing to worry about, as the Namekians are peaceful by nature according to King Kai. The radar shows 4 Dragon Balls located elsewhere, and the group consider introducing themselves to the Namekians. Suddenly, a Saiyan spaceship flies across the sky and lands, much to the surprise of Krillin and Bulma. Gohan finds this hard to believe, and Krillin tells him to mask his energy, otherwise they'll be discovered. Krillin theorizes that the one who just landed was Vegeta, and asserts that he must be here for the Dragon Balls as well. Gohan wonders how he was able to heal so fast, and panicking, Bulma suggests returning to Earth. Recognizing the peril of Vegeta acquiring the Dragon Balls for himself, Krillin advises Bulma to go back to Earth alone, as he and Gohan need to stay and collect the Dragon Balls themselves. Bulma agrees and plans to inform Master Roshi in addition to returning in 2 months with Goku, a timeline neither Gohan or Krillin are thrilled about. Meanwhile, Vegeta disembarks from his ship, determined to prevent Frieza from obtaining the Dragon Balls. He suspects Frieza knows of his insubordination and wants him dead, and though skeptical of his chances against Frieza, Vegeta believes the Dragon Balls will grant him the edge he needs. Reluctantly using a scouter, he locates Frieza and his henchmen Zarbon and Dodoria and flies off. Back on Earth, Master Roshi answers a call from Bulma, who briefs him on the situation and tells him to inform everyone except Chi-Chi. Suddenly, a second Saiyan space pod crashes nearby, much to the surprise of Gohan, Bulma, and Krillin, who wonder who this mysterious person is. Elsewhere on Namek, a village lies in ruins, its inhabitants dead. Various aliens in Saiyan-like armor are present, and one emerges holding a 3-star Dragon Ball. Appearing before them is a small, effeminate individual floating in a pod known as Frieza, elated that there are only 3 more Dragon Balls to collect, as his group are in possession of the 4 the Dragon team picked up on their radar earlier. Frieza tells the large pink alien standing next to him known as Dodoria to hold the Dragon Balls with care, as Vegeta is likely pursuing them. A handsome, long-haired man holding the other 2 Dragon Balls known as Zarbon then speaks, alerting Frieza that Kui has arrived on Namek and is tailing Vegeta. Zarbon goes on to state that 2 strong energy signatures had appeared and then vanished, but Frieza asserts that their primary concern is dealing with Vegeta. Meanwhile, Kui, having landed near Vegeta's pod, checks his scouter and notes that he's found the Saiyan, then states it's time to clean up his mess. Back at the Dragon team's location, Bulma believes the situation is terrible, and Krillin argues that there shouldn't be any more Saiyans around. At the same time, Kui locates Vegeta using his scouter. As he heads out, Kui informs Vegeta via his scouter that Frieza has authorized him to eliminate him. Vegeta, however, is simply standing on a cliff, amused at the idea of Kui defeating him, although his adversary tells him to check his scouter to determine who the victor will be, to which Vegeta just smirks. Back at the spacecraft, Bulma bids farewell to Krillin and Gohan, assuring them that she'll return with Goku. Krillin, however, tells her to hold on and suggests to Gohan they should leave too. Krillin is skeptical about the unfolding events on Namek and states that even if Vegeta were to make a wish on the Dragon Balls, they could always come back and make theirs. However, Bulma mentions that this is assuming Vegeta doesn't kill Shenron like Demon King Piccolo did in the past, which leaves Krillin worrying. Suddenly, Gohan senses an approaching presence, and Krillin notes that its energy is too weak to be Vegeta's. 2 of Frieza's henchmen are close by, discussing that the energy readings they had earlier have now vanished. One wonders if they're merely Namekians, and Krillin initially wonders the same on his end. However, both groups spot one another, and Bulma shrieks that the strangers aren't Namekians after all. The 2 scouts are unsure where the Dragon team came from, but decide to carry out their orders to exterminate everyone on the planet anyway. Krillin notes that the 2 are wearing outfits similar to Saiyans, but clearly aren't Saiyans themselves. Confused, Krillin expresses his unease, and Bulma adds that their appearances don't indicate friendly intentions either. The scouts rise into the air, and as Krillin advises Gohan to concentrate his energy, the scouts mock the 2 for their supposedly weak battle powers. One of the scouts decides to destroy their spaceship first and fires a powerful beam from a handheld weapon, hitting the ship. Both scouts laugh, but Krillin assures Gohan that these foes are no match for them. The scouts overhear and mock the two some more, but Krillin and Gohan power up, causing the scouts to get nervous. Both suddenly teleport in front of the scouts, with Gohan landing a punch and Krillin delivering a kick. Both scouts are sent flying into a body of water, and Krillin praises Gohan's skills, but Bulma eagerly disregards this. Elsewhere, Zarbon detects something on his scouter, and Frieza inquires what's amiss. Zarbon reports that the individuals they were monitoring not only reappeared, but after defeating their scouts, their readings disappeared again. Frieza wonders if it might be Vegeta, but Zarbon clarifies that Vegeta's being tracked separately, and their power levels were around 1500 each. Frieza states that these individuals pose no threat to him, but asserts that next time they make an appearance, Zarbon or Dodoria shall eliminate them. Meanwhile, Bulma mourns the ruined spaceship and her inability to return to Earth, and Krillin suggests moving to a different location as stronger enemies might be on their way. Gohan concurs, stating that they're not Namekians and appear to be allies of Vegeta. Gohan also believes the Namekians will assist them in repairing the ship, so Bulma gives in. Elsewhere, Vegeta and Qui face off. Qui declares Vegeta's life will end here, and the Saiyan promises to show him a useful skill he acquired on Earth. Qui mockingly questions if it's the ability to flee, but Vegeta retorts that it's the ability to control his power level at will. Vegeta starts to power up and tells Qui to check his scouter again. Qui is alarmed and protests that they should be on equal footing, but Vegeta counters saying that unlike Qui, who stays comfortably by Frieza's side and never improves, he's been continuously training and engaging in combat, including the battle on Earth that nearly took his life. Vegeta amps up his power level further, causing Qui's scouter to shatter when it reaches 22,000. Elsewhere, Zarbon's scouter also crashes. He informs Dodoria that it's because Vegeta's power exceeded 22,000, but Dodoria dismisses it, attributing the failure to an outdated scouter and plans to use his more modern one for an accurate reading. Even with his newer device though, Dodoria finds that his reading has climbed up to 24,000. Meanwhile, Qui proposes a new plan. He suggests he and Vegeta team up against Frieza, claiming they could likely defeat Zarbon and Dodoria together. However, Vegeta calls him a liar and states that he's tired of his nonsense. As Qui insists he's telling the truth, he tricks Vegeta into thinking Frieza's appeared. Seizing the moment, Qui blasts Vegeta with all his might, then unleashes a flurry of additional blasts following that. When the smoke clears, the area in front of Qui is destroyed and Vegeta is nowhere to be found. Qui gloats over his supposed victory, but Vegeta reappears behind Qui and mocks him for his poor strategy. Vegeta states that in addition to his power increase, his speed has gotten a boost as well. Panicked, Qui attempts to flee, but Vegeta swiftly catches up to him, lands a devastating punch to his stomach, and sends him airborne. With a mere flick of 2 fingers, Vegeta then causes Qui to explode, eliminating yet another one of his enemies. Landing back on the ground, Vegeta speculates that due to the scouters, Frieza and his minions have probably noticed he disposed of Qui. He states that if the transmissions he picked up on his own are correct, the Dragon Balls only work if you gather all 7. Vegeta then formulates his plan. He'll aim to find 1 Dragon Ball himself and steal the remaining 6 from Frieza's men later when they drop their guard. He asserts that gaining immortality will soon be within his reach, and with Frieza defeated, his goal of reigning supreme over the universe will be achievable. Meanwhile, Dodoria concludes that Vegeta's power must genuinely be at 24,000, given the elimination of Qui. Unimpressed though, Frieza states that this isn't anything to be concerned about, and decides to go after the 5th Dragon Ball. One of the henchmen notes that about 10 Namekians are in another direction, prompting Frieza to infer that the Dragon Ball must be there. He advises caution due to the presence of mysterious individuals besides Vegeta, and the group take off. Further out on Namek, Krillin and Gohan are walking, with Bulma trailing behind them. She suggests they should fly and carry her, but Gohan explains that flying would consume a lot of energy and attract the attention of their enemies. The group reach a cave, and Krillin suggests taking shelter there, a suggestion Bulma isn't keen on. Gohan questions Krillin on if he senses anyone else nearby, and he confirms, as this time the energies they sense are different, and they're confident they must be Namekians. Suddenly, Krillin yells for Bulma and Gohan to hide, as there's someone else approaching from the direction they sense the Namekians in. The trio quickly take cover in the cave, and Krillin wonders if they've been discovered. As they huddle against the cave walls, the flying group zooms past them. Bulma's relieved that they weren't the target of the group and wonders about their mission, while Krillin and Gohan suddenly sit in horror. Krillin tells Bulma to check the dragon radar, and he suspects the group that just passed are in possession of the 4 Dragon Balls. Bulma does so and Gohan confirms Krillin's suspicions, prompting discouragement in him. Krillin inquires if Gohan felt the immense power emanating from the second individual in the formation, who turns out to be Frieza. Gohan confirms, stating that the power he felt was staggering, and Krillin adds that Frieza's aura is far stronger than Vegeta's, and that he was on an entirely different level. Bulma finds it hard to believe that there are stronger beings than Vegeta, and Krillin speculates they must be Vegeta's friends, given their similar attire. Bulma then observes on the radar that the group is headed directly for another Dragon Ball, surmising that they must have a tracking device as well. Noting that the location is about 14 kilometers away, where Krillin had sent Namekians earlier, Krillin decides to go there, and Gohan insists on following him. Bulma protests being left alone, but Krillin tells her it's better than going with them. Bulma agrees, and decides to construct a house capsule while they're gone. Krillin tells her to contact Master Roshi, and she wishes them luck as they set off, conserving as much ki as possible. Meanwhile, back on Earth in the hospital, Goku is training despite his injuries. The doctor enters, scolding him for overexerting himself and reminding him that he's not yet fit to leave. As the doctor helps him back into bed, Master Roshi enters, bearing food and news from Bulma. During the conversation, Master Roshi inappropriately touches a nurse, who screams, leading him to state his ignorance due to his old age. Roshi then updates Goku about Bulma and the others' arrival to planet Namek, along with Vegeta, much to Goku's shock. Roshi then states a group of powerful beings are also on the planet as well, and that Bulma and the others are stranded as their spaceship is damaged. He then says to make matters worse, one individual among the powerful beings has a ki significantly higher than Vegeta's, leaving Goku in disbelief. At that moment, Yajirobe enters with a bag of 7 sensu beans from Korin. Goku eagerly consumes one despite the doctor's disapproval, and revitalized, Goku leaps from his bed and shatters his bandages as he changes into his usual outfit, declaring he's heading to planet Namek. He tells Master Roshi that Bulma's father offered to build him a spaceship using the space pod he came into Earth in as a baby, and states that once it's all finished, he'll be able to reach Namek in just 6 days. Jumping out the window, Goku summons his flying Nimbus and takes off to Bulma's house. Yajirobe questions his intent, and Master Roshi elaborates on the situation. Yajirobe questions Goku's optimism in such a terrible situation, but Roshi explains that it must be his Saiyan blood driving him to battle another strong opponent. As Goku takes to the sky, he can't seem to shake the thought of someone even mightier than Vegeta. Goku arrives at Capsule Corps, dismounts from his flying Nimbus, and wanders outside, wondering where to go. He sees Bulma's mom tending to her garden, and she inquires about his well-being. When Goku questions her on where Bulma's dad is, she informs him that he's still working on the spaceship, surprising Goku, who thought it'd be done by now. Taking Goku by the arm, Bulma's mom walks with him, commenting on how handsome he's gotten, and suggests they go on a date now that the Saiyans are gone. Eventually, they reach the spaceship, and Dr. Brief is surprised to see Goku's already healed. Curious, Goku questions if the ship is finished, observing that it seems ready. Dr. Brief emerges and says he needs a bit more time and invites Goku inside. Bulma's mom departs, mentioning that she'll grab a drink or something for Goku, and entering the ship, Goku is amazed by its size. Dr. Brief confirms that it was designed to Goku's specifications and praises the advanced technology of the Saiyan race. When Goku inquires about the artificial gravity system, Dr. Brief confirms its completion and shows him the control panel, warning that it can only go up to 100 times normal gravity, which would make Goku weigh 6 tons if set at maximum. However, Goku is unfazed, stating that it's necessary to defeat Vegeta. When he questions if the ship can fly, Dr. Brief assures him that all data has been programmed, and all Goku has to do is press the button to head to planet Namek. Dr. Brief then shows him additional amenities downstairs, including a bathroom, a kitchen, and a bedroom. This prompts Goku to inquire what the holdup is, to which Dr. Brief says he hasn't decided where to place the stereo speakers. Alarmed, Goku insists that he doesn't care about that and that they need to leave immediately, revealing that he received a message from Bulma about encountering trouble on planet Namek. Concerned, Dr. Brief allows Goku to take the spaceship, and he sits in the pilot seat, hits the button, and the ship soars into the sky. Watching from below, Dr. Brief marvels at the successful launch. Puar and Oolong arrive, wondering about the commotion, and are informed that Goku just left. While Oolong finds Goku's abrupt departure a bit rude, Puar is anxious that something serious must have happened. Meanwhile in space, Goku notes how dark it is and considers it to be nighttime. However, he decides to start his training immediately, recalling that King Kai's place had 10 times normal gravity, so he opts to begin at 20 times normal gravity. Goku starts his workout with some push-ups and sit-ups, stating that he'll need to retrain himself starting from the basics, otherwise he won't be able to withstand higher levels of the Kaioken technique. Back on Namek, Krillin and Gohan hurry toward their objective. Krillin mentions they're close and need to mask their energy levels as they approach on foot, and Gohan agrees. They climb a small cliff, crouch, and observe a settlement with houses resembling their own spaceship. They particularly notice Frieza, Zarbon, and Dodoria, as Krillin points out they have incredible and terrifying energy. He then points out the large Dragon Balls in Zarbon and Dodoria's possession, and Dodoria briefly detects a signal on his scouter, but dismisses it as an animal or insect when questioned by Frieza. As Gohan and Krillin remain hidden, one of Frieza's henchmen force a group of Namekians from their home, as Krillin notes they resemble Piccolo and Kami. The group of 5 Namekians consist of 3 elders and 2 children. Krillin is puzzled about what the strangers want with the Namekians, and Gohan questions if they're Saiyans, but Krillin clarifies that they just dress similarly, and only Gohan, Goku, and Vegeta are the remaining Saiyans. Krillin recalls what Goku's older brother had mentioned about clearing planets of life and selling them, and speculates that these individuals must be in the same line of work. He then wonders why Vegeta isn't present, guessing that he might be searching for the Dragon Balls elsewhere. The senior Namekians observe that Zarbon and Dodoria each hold 2 Dragon Balls and are shocked. Frieza introduces himself and states his intention to acquire their Dragon Balls. He questions them about the whereabouts of the other Namekians, and witnessing the group before him falling silent, he threatens to kill them if they don't talk. Finally, one of the elders speaks, but in the Namekian language. Frieza insists that he knows how to communicate in a language he understands, and the elder explains that the others are out working in the fields, which leads Frieza to demand further cooperation. When Frieza inquires about the location of the Dragon Ball, the Namekian leader denies having one. Frieza then laughs, calling on Dodoria to share what he's learned about the Dragon Balls on the planet. Dodoria states that the Dragon Balls are only to be turned over to those who Namekians judge to be men of valor, and Frieza cuts in, stating that the Namekian who informed them of this was stubborn as well. That is, until he killed one of his companions to serve as a lesson. This shocks the elders, and Frieza goes on to say that he learned the Dragon Balls were created by the Grand Elder of Namek. Each is held by an elder who evaluates the seeker's wisdom, strength, and motives before handing it over, but he cared nothing of that and was left with no choice but to kill the first elder. Unbeknownst to Frieza and his group, Vegeta listens to the conversation via his scouter, hearing the tyrant mention how the next 3 elders he encountered were in a much more accommodating mood to hand over the Dragon Balls. The Namekians are skeptical that the other elders would willingly surrender the Dragon Balls, and Frieza then commands Zarbon to show the elders what convinced the others. Zarbon appears behind one of the men and delivers a deadly kick to his neck, instantly killing him. Another elder attempts to attack Zarbon, who evades him, causing the resulting blast to hit one of Frieza's henchmen. Zarbon retaliates with a blast of his own, killing the elder and gracefully retrieving his Dragon Ball that he'd thrown into the air. Only the leader and 2 children remain, and Frieza questions if they're ready to cooperate now. The remaining elder questions what Frieza wants with the Dragon Balls, to which the tyrant states he wants eternal life. Krillin hears this and realizes that Vegeta has the same wish, prompting Gohan to contemplate that the 2 may not be allies after all. The Namekian leader defiantly tells Frieza he'd rather die than give up the Dragon Ball, and Frieza decides that such stubbornness warrants death for all, including the children, which infuriates both Gohan and Krillin. At that moment, Dodoria's scouter detects strong power levels approaching, and they turn to see 3 young Namekians flying toward the village, much to the elders' relief. The trio of furious Namekians arrive in the village and see that 2 of the older members have been killed. One of the newcomers admits that he had a bad feeling about this, to which Frieza mockingly responds that they've merely taken a work break to meet their deaths. Another villager mentions he'd heard rumors of someone raiding villages to steal Dragon Balls, confirming that it must be true. The third is visibly angered by the invaders' disruption of Namek's tranquility and vows to stop them. The elder cautions the trio, but urges them to fight. Frieza tells Dodoria to gauge their battle powers, and he does so, announcing that they're each around 1,000, thus no match for them. The elder figures that these devices are how Frieza's men have been locating remote villages and people on the planet, and Frieza's henchman scoffs at the trio's weaker battle power of 1,000. Krillin and Gohan notice that the Namekians are actually suppressing their true strength, and when the henchmen attack, the Namekians begin to unleash their power. One kicks a henchman into a mountain, another delivers a powerful punch to the face of another, and the third sends a henchman flying towards Zarbon with a ki blast. Zarbon redirects him into the ocean, perplexed, and questioning Dodoria on if their power levels are really just 1,000. Dodoria rechecks and reports they've somehow increased to 3,000, and the Namekians continue to defeat the henchmen, while Krillin and Gohan silently root for them from their cliffside vantage point. Frieza observes that the Namekians have control over their power levels, and the Elder, pondering again on the scouter devices, tells the children to move to a safer distance. Dodoria sets his Dragon Balls down and points out he'll have to deal with the Namekians, but unexpectedly, the Elder shoots a small ki blast, targeting Dodoria's scouter and destroying it. Dodoria chuckles, stating that such an attack won't beat him, but the Elder leaps into the air and launches more ki blasts, aiming to destroy the scouters of all the fallen henchmen as well. Zarbon quickly catches on that the scouters are the target, while Dodoria bellows in fury, vowing to eliminate them all. Gohan points out that the scouters are used for detecting an opponent's strength and location, prompting Krillin to understand that the enemy wasn't using the scouters to locate the Dragon Balls, rather they were using them to track down the Namekians themselves. Dodoria becomes enraged and soars into the air to chase the Elder. However, Frieza orders him to halt and focus on the younger Namekians first. Dodoria returns to the ground and confronts the young warriors, asserting that it'll take him just 10 seconds to finish them off. One of the Namekians retorts that they believe they can hold their own against him, but Dodoria scoffs at the remark, suddenly teleporting behind one of them and impales him through the chest with his arm. He withdraws his arm and unleashes a massive energy blast from his mouth at the second Namekian, killing him on impact, much to the surprise of everyone watching. The last Namekian narrowly evades Dodoria's attack and backs up, attempting to flee. As Dodoria pursues him, the fleeing Namekian turns and launches a dual-handed ki blast, hitting Dodoria head on. Following a massive explosion, he believes he succeeded, but when the smoke dissipates, Dodoria emerges unscathed. Dodoria then propels himself toward the Namekian and rams his head into him, sending him crashing into a hillside and killing him. As the Elder watches in horror, Frieza tells him it's futile to continue resisting and tells him to descend. The Elder hesitates, but ultimately complies, and Frieza appreciates his newfound compliance. Frieza then states that as an apology for destroying their scouters, the Elder must hand over his Dragon Ball, otherwise he'll die along with the children. After a bit of hesitation, the Elder reluctantly agrees, as long as they promise to spare the children. Meanwhile, Krillin comments on the ferocity of the assailants, while Gohan boils in anger, prompting Krillin to discourage him from fighting, as they wouldn't stand a chance. The Elder hands over the 4-star ball to one of Frieza's minions, and is asked to reveal the location of the remaining 2 Dragon Balls. However, he refuses to betray his fellow Namekians, and Frieza coldly states that he and the children will just have to die. Just as the Elder begins to panic at this revelation, Dodoria lunges at him with an attack. The Elder is sent reeling, but sustains minimal damage. He confronts Frieza, stating how this wasn't what they agreed on, and how he said he would leave after he handed the Dragon Ball over. However, Frieza states the Dragon Balls are useless without all 7, and because the Elder destroyed his scouters, he'll need to give up the location of the remaining 2. The Elder states again that he would rather die than betray his own people, to which Frieza responds that he'll gladly fulfill that wish. Zarbon questions whether they can realistically find the remaining Dragon Balls without scouters, and Frieza assures him that they'll undoubtedly locate more if they search other villages or find other Namekians. For now, he orders the death of the remaining 3, and Dodoria prepares for action. Krillin becomes infuriated, and the Elder instructs the children to flee. Rising to his feet, the Elder shouts, exclaiming he'll show the assailants the pride of the Namekian people. However, Frieza launches a minor energy blast, which deliberately misses the Elder and fatally hits one of the Namekian children. The Elder stands in disbelief, and Gohan becomes increasingly enraged. Dodoria then grabs the Elder, places him in a headlock, and snaps his neck. He laughs as he lets the Elder's lifeless body fall to the ground, and Krillin urges Gohan to restrain himself, arguing that they're powerless to intervene. The surviving young Namekian begins to cry and tries to escape, prompting Dodoria to pursue and intercept him. But just as Dodoria readies his attack, Gohan rises to his feet and shouts for him to stop. He takes flight, capturing the attention of both Frieza and Zarbon. Confused, Dodoria looks around for the source of the disturbance, only to be blindsided by a powerful kick to the face from Gohan, smashing him through a nearby Namekian home. Thinking Gohan acted recklessly, Krillin swoops in to assist, and as Dodoria regains his bearings, he wonders who the attackers are. Gohan retorts that he's the one who's gonna take him down, and as Dodoria rises to his feet, Krillin lands another kick to his face. Krillin grabs the surviving child and tells Gohan to make a break for it, and the trio soar away. Frieza orders him to chase the 3, and Dodoria follows close behind, fueled by his increasing rage. Krillin advises Gohan to fly as fast as he can, and as Dodoria is quickly gaining waiting on them, Frieza ponders the identity of their unexpected adversaries. Dodoria rapidly closes in, and Gohan suggests they should touch down and confront him. Krillin, however, exclaims that they stand no chance in a fight and need to continue flying. Clearly frustrated, Krillin contemplates how they can lose Dodoria when suddenly he devises a plan. As Dodoria draws ever closer, Krillin tosses the child toward Gohan and shouts at him to shut his eyes and not look back. He places his fingers on his forehead, spins around to face Dodoria, and unleashes a solar flare. Dodoria is momentarily blinded, allowing Krillin to speed up and rejoin Gohan and the young Namekian. He advises them to take the opportunity to hide, and they descend to the base of a nearby hill just as Dodoria begins to recover his vision. Unable to locate them, he grows increasingly angry and starts flying erratically around the vicinity, demanding they reveal themselves. Krillin reassures Gohan and the young Namekian that they're safe, as Dodoria can't locate them since all the scouters have been destroyed. However, frustrated by his inability to find the trio in such expansive terrain, Dodoria decides to obliterate the area. He soars skyward, leading Gohan to mistakenly believe he's given up. However, from a high vantage point, Dodoria bids a farewell and unleashes a massive energy blast downward, annihilating nearby islands and leaving only open water. Believing he's eliminated the trio, Dodoria revels in his victory, but thinks to himself how Frieza may have wanted him to bring them back to him. However, he states destroying them was better than letting them escape, but wonders once more who they were. Unbeknownst to him, the trio has survived, floating in the air behind him as he flies away. Relieved, Krillin suggests returning to where Bulma is hiding. He questions the young Namekian on if he's capable of flying, to which the child responds affirmatively and thanks Krillin for the rescue. Krillin, however, deflects the gratitude toward Gohan, claiming he initially thought the situation was too dangerous to act. Gohan, however, counters that without Krillin's intervention, they'd both be dead. Agreeing to head back, Krillin wonders where they left Bulma, and Gohan leads he and the Namekian boy in the cave's direction. Meanwhile, Dodoria contemplates the challenge of finding the Dragon Balls without scouters as he continues to fly away, but is suddenly plunged into the water below. Emerging, he finds himself face to face with Vegeta, much to his surprise. Climbing ashore, Dodoria is infuriated to discover that it's Vegeta who ambushed him. Vegeta remarks that he's been waiting for an opportunity when Dodoria and Zarbon would be separated from Frieza, and Dodoria retorts, telling Vegeta to hand over his scouter and leave. Realizing all the scouters have been destroyed, Vegeta finds this to be great news, as Frieza and his men are now unable to detect him. He mentions Dodoria and the others wouldn't attempt retrieving more either, as the trip from Namek to planet Frieza would take several days. He then removes the remaining scouter from his face and drops it to the ground. Dodoria suggests that Vegeta must be frightened and offers to spare him if he's lucky. However, Vegeta smiles and crushes the scouter with his foot. Startled, Dodoria questions why Vegeta would do such a thing, prompting the Saiyan to state that he no longer needs it. Dodoria argues that Vegeta would still need the scouter to locate the Dragon Balls, the Namekians, or Frieza, but Vegeta counters that his time on Earth taught him how to sense enemy locations and power levels without technological aid. He adds that scouters are useless for determining the true strength of beings like Frieza, and mentions a Saiyan on Earth had the ability to sense power levels as well. Dodoria concludes that the small fighters from earlier must be Earthlings and allies of Vegeta, but skeptical, Vegeta dismisses the point, stating there's no way the Earthlings would be on Namek, but even if they were, he'd kill them for sure. Dodoria threatens Vegeta again, and realizing Dodoria must have noticed how much stronger he became after his battle with Whis, Vegeta asserts he must be afraid of him. Dodoria then becomes furious, dismissing his power as a scouter malfunction, and unleashes a large energy blast, with a volley of larger energy blasts following suit. However, Vegeta reappears unscathed behind him, catching Dodoria's fist when he attempts to strike. Dodoria kicks out, but Vegeta spins and immobilizes both of his arms. Declaring that Dodoria is no match for a Saiyan, Vegeta explains that his near-death experience on Earth greatly amplified his strength, embodying the combat prowess of the Saiyan race. He accuses Dodoria of overlooking this fact and advises him to prepare for death, but Dodoria, in a last-ditch effort, offers to reveal a secret about Vegeta's homeworld, planet Vegeta. Intrigued, Vegeta releases him and demands to hear the secret. Dodoria then reveals that Frieza himself destroyed planet Vegeta, fearing the Saiyans were becoming too powerful and disobedient. He goes on to state that Vegeta's life was spared because Frieza saw potential to use him, so he did, and Vegeta remains silent at this revelation. Dodoria believes Vegeta to be shaken up by the news and begins to take his leave to Frieza, but Vegeta clarifies that he doesn't care about his planet, his friends, or parents, only that he's been manipulated his his entire life. Panicked, Dodoria tries to flee, but is instantly obliterated by an energy blast from Vegeta, who declares Frieza fears the endless potential of the Saiyan race as Goku continues his training exercises aboard his ship. Vegeta is astounded by his newfound strength, as it were enough to take down Dodoria without breaking a sweat. He reflects on his time on Earth and feels it wasn't in vain after all. However, Dodoria's mention of the Earthlings catches his attention, and he recalls sensing two significant power levels moving further away. Determined to investigate and eliminate any interference, Vegeta takes off. Concurrently, Gohan, Krillin, and the young Namekian boy are flying toward Bulma's cave when they sense a high-speed entity approaching. They quickly descend to an island to take cover, and Krillin is puzzled, thinking to himself that Dodoria found them again. However, Vegeta arrives nearby, puzzled that the power levels he sensed earlier have disappeared. Gohan alerts Krillin that Vegeta is in the vicinity, causing him to crouch and panic. As Vegeta leaves their line of sight, they breathe a sigh of relief, and Krillin wonders how Vegeta could have tracked them without a scouter. Frustrated, Vegeta internally admits that he may not have yet mastered the art of sensing power levels and regrets destroying his scouter. However, he picks up something nearby, and Krillin realizes the Saiyan must be sensing their ki and worries that even if he and Gohan conceal theirs, the boy's faint ki would still be detectable. Vegeta confirms his suspicion by sensing a minor power level and heads toward it, prompting Krillin to believe they're doomed. However, a large fish leaps from the water, diverting Vegeta's attention. Convinced it was just the fish he sensed, he resolves to just finding one of the remaining Dragon Balls to prevent Frieza from collecting all 7. With this thought, he departs, allowing Krillin and Gohan to relax and catch their breath. Krillin suggests they head back to Bulma's location, eager for some rest despite not engaging in combat. The group make their way to another island, Krillin thinking to himself they may end up getting themselves killed on Namek. They eventually locate Bulma's cave, and entering, they discover a sizable capsule house at the back. Bulma reveals herself and scolds them for leaving her alone while they were out, and notices the young boy who resembles Piccolo. She inquires if he's a Namekian, but Krillin proposes they discuss it inside. Bulma then shares some fantastic news, stating that Goku will be arriving on Namek in 6 days. She details how he acquired the spaceship and mentioned that he's undergoing intense training en route. Excited, they all celebrate as hope remains in sight while Goku continues his training on the spacecraft. As Vegeta soars through the sky, he senses about 20 energy signatures, unmistakably coming from a Namekian village. Confident that a Dragon Ball must be there, he accelerates, smirking at the thought of Frieza and his forces lacking scouters, remaining oblivious to his actions. Arriving at the village, he notes that the villagers are still alive, and therefore, Frieza hasn't reached this area. He lands in the village center, attracting the attention of the locals. Vegeta demands that the village elder hand over the Dragon Ball, and an elderly man reveals himself, questioning why he should comply. Vegeta dismisses his question and insists on getting the Dragon Ball, but the elder refuses, sensing Vegeta's evil intentions, and the Saiyan prepares to kill him. Back at the capsule house situated in the cave, everyone is unwinding after sharing their experiences with Bulma. While Krillin and Gohan eat, the young Namekian boy abstains. Bulma advises them to give him some space, suggesting he's upset about his village's destruction. The boy states Namekians don't need to eat as they can survive on water alone, and Krillin is puzzled, mentioning he saw a field of crops. The boy clarifies those were young Ajisa trees, explaining that Namek once flourished with these trees until an environmental catastrophe nearly wiped them all out. Now, the planet's inhabitants aim to restore the planet's Ajisa trees to make Namek beautiful once more. Gohan then questions if the boy can tell them his name, and he introduces himself as Dende. Interrupted by a sudden shift in energy, Krillin and Gohan rush out of the cave, and Bulma questions what's going on. The two sense multiple ki levels vanishing, and Gohan concludes that more Namekians are being slaughtered. Krillin identifies the ominous ki as Vegeta's, who's attacking a nearby village. Krillin is enraged, acknowledging Vegeta can definitely sense ki, and that they now have no choice but to cautiously move until Goku arrives, lest Vegeta or Frieza gain immortality through the Dragon Balls. Bulma suggests securing just one ball to prevent the villains from getting all 7, but Gohan argues that this wouldn't stop them from killing the Namekians. As they discuss Goku's potential to defeat Vegeta and the others, Dende interrupts, urgently inquiring who Gohan and the others are, and pleading for them to help to save Namek. Meanwhile, Vegeta ruthlessly eliminates the Namekian villagers, leaving only the stubborn Elder alive. Unwilling to hand over the Dragon Ball, the Elder is killed as Vegeta opts to find it himself. Back in the cave, Krillin tells Dende that they're from Earth and need the Namek's Dragon Balls to resurrect their fallen friends. Bulma adds that fulfilling their wish would also reactivate complete Earth's Dragon Balls, and now understanding the circumstances, Dende states that the group should follow him to meet their Grand Elder at once. At this point, Vegeta's located the coveted 4-star ball amidst the destroyed Namekian village. Vegeta hides his Dragon Ball in a nearby lake to keep it concealed, knowing only he will be able to locate it later. He then takes to the sky to ponder his next moves, aware that Frieza currently holds 5 Dragon Balls and is searching for the last one. Meanwhile, Frieza, Zarbon, and the last remaining henchmen are awaiting Dodoria's return. Growing impatient, Frieza deems Dodoria useless and decides they should continue their search for the remaining Dragon Balls without him. Zarbon and the henchmen leave their Dragon Balls behind by Frieza's command and take flight, agreeing to regroup at their ship in 3 hours. Zarbon instructs the henchmen to report any findings, especially if he encounters stronger Namekians, and they both disperse. Frieza speculates that Vegeta is likely on a similar quest and will eventually target their collected Dragon Balls. When that happens, Frieza plans to seize the 2 he believes that Vegeta possesses and complete the set of 7. Frieza then uses his telekinesis to lift his 5 Dragon Balls and departs in his pod. Back in the cave, Bulma questions Dende about the Grand Elder. Dende reveals that he's the creator of all current Namekians, having been the sole survivor of the past environmental calamity. He accomplished this by giving birth through egg laying via his mouth, intriguing Bulma, who wonders if the Elder is a female, prompting Dende to inquire what a woman is. Bulma is surprised that Namek doesn't have gender distinctions, declaring it a dull planet in that regard. Changing the topic, Krillin wants to understand why they need to meet the Grand Elder, and Dende reveals that he holds the final Dragon Ball. Given that Frieza's forces have 5 and Vegeta presumably has 1, Krillin stresses the urgency of reaching the Grand Elder before Vegeta, who can sense ki and would likely target the last Dragon Ball. Both agree they must act swiftly to prevent Vegeta or Frieza from attaining immortality, and Krillin decides to go himself, suggesting that Gohan remain with Bulma for safety. He questions Dende on how long it would take to reach the Grand Elder by foot to avoid detection. Learning it would take about 30 days, Krillin resolves to fly instead, vowing to hide if they sense Vegeta's presence. The 2 take off, warning Bulma and Gohan to stay vigilant. As Krillin and Dende fly, Krillin muses on the strength of Frieza and Vegeta, considering that their best strategy may be to hide with the Grand Elder's Dragon Ball until Goku arrives in 5.5 days. Meanwhile, Goku is in his spaceship, training in 20 times gravity and opting to move to 30 times gravity soon. Suddenly, King Kai contacts him, initially confused on why Goku is in outer space, but then remembering that he's en route to Namek to grab the Dragon Balls. King Kai then shares some good news, as he has 4 guests who have traveled Snake Way much faster than Goku. These familiar faces are revealed to be Tien, Chaozu, Piccolo, and Yamcha, who have arrived for rigorous training, just as Goku did in the past. Goku is thrilled to hear that his friends have reached King Kai's realm for training, and Yamcha puts his hand on King Kai's shoulder to speak with Goku telepathically. He informs Goku that they're planning to train to prepare for their resurrection on Namek, and while Goku initially wonders if Piccolo is among them, he confirms his presence, admitting that he's only there because he refuses to be surpassed by everyone. Goku inquires who the 4th person is training among them, and Yamcha reveals it's Chaozu, as Kami was able to reconstruct his body in the afterlife. He then states that they're struggling with the intense gravity during training, and Goku sympathizes and shares that he's also undergoing high gravity training en route to Namek, which will be essential for the battles ahead. At this point, King Kai prompts Goku to spill the bad news he alluded to earlier, and Goku explains the situation on Namek. Krillin, Bulma, and Gohan are searching for Dragon Balls, as is Vegeta, who managed to make his way to the planet as well. Moreover, there are other powerful beings on the planet, including one with an energy level surpassing Vegeta's. Both Yamcha and King Kai are shocked by this revelation, and King Kai probes further to see if this mysterious person might be a being named Frieza. When Goku can't confirm, King Kai decides to check for himself, using his powers to search the planet. To his surprise, he witnesses Frieza soaring through the sky with 5 Dragon Balls, leaving him deeply alarmed. He wants Goku to steer clear of Frieza, stating that the tyrant's power is too much for him to handle. Goku questions what the Kai means by this, and he retorts by telling the Saiyan that any attack towards Frieza would get him angry, prompting him to unleash his wrath not only on him, but everyone he loves. This information intrigues Goku as he ponders what the enemy looks like, but King Kai exclaims once more to avoid him at all costs. Piccolo then interjects, encouraging Goku to gather the Dragon Balls to resurrect them so they can help in the fight. King Kai thinks this is a foolish decision given Frieza's immense strength, and despite the Kai's reluctance to train the group unless they promise not to go to Namek, Piccolo mentally resolves to break such a promise. Tien internally concludes that merely mimicking Goku's training won't help him surpass the Saiyans, so he'll need to adapt and refine what he learns. King Kai then announces that the group must pass a humor test to earn his training, a challenge that seems particularly daunting for Piccolo and Tien. Meanwhile, Goku, unfazed by King Kai's stern warning, contemplates training harder and cranking up his training to 50 times normal gravity. On Namek, as Dende and Krillin fly toward the Grand Elder's location, Krillin worries about expending too much energy as the journey will take another 5 hours. Elsewhere, Vegeta grows irritated as he can't locate the remaining Dragon Ball, but senses new energy levels and halts. He identifies one of them as neither Namekian nor a member of Frieza's forces and decides to investigate. Sensing Vegeta's rapid approach, Krillin urgently instructs Dende to descend with him to a nearby island for cover. However, they realize Vegeta has shifted direction, now headed toward another energy signature. It turns out to be Zarbon, whom Vegeta rushes toward, aiming to deal with him as he did Dodoria. As Zarbon in the distance notices someone flying toward him, he recognizes Vegeta as the Saiyan confronts him, saying he's eliminated Dodoria and now it's Zarbon's turn. Zarbon is in disbelief that Vegeta could have defeated Dodoria, but Vegeta insists he'll make him a believer. When Zarbon questions why he insists on opposing Frieza, Vegeta makes it clear that he hates him as well as taking orders. He aspires to gain immortality to improve his odds against Frieza, and Zarbon deduces that Vegeta is after the Dragon Balls. Zarbon scoffs at the idea of Vegeta defeating Frieza, saying that even with eternal life, he wouldn't stand a chance. Vegeta, however, retorts that if Zarbon had a scouter, he'd know just how much his power has escalated. He also challenges Zarbon's assertions of Frieza's overwhelming power, stating Dodoria revealed that Frieza fears the Saiyan race. Zarbon, however, clarifies that Frieza fears the Saiyans as a collective force, not just an individual, but Vegeta merely smirks. In a flash, he's next to Zarbon, effortlessly catching his punch and hurling him into the air. Zarbon recovers and fires a powerful blast at Vegeta, who deflects it, causing a distant explosion. Krillin and Dende, not far from the explosion's location, feel the combatants' immense energy levels. Recognizing that one of the fighters is allied with Frieza, Krillin feels frustrated that he's outmatched. Seizing the opportunity while Vegeta is preoccupied, Krillin takes Dende and speeds toward the Grand Elder's location. Back at the fray, Vegeta lands a solid elbow on Zarbon's face. In response, Zarbon attempts a flurry of kicks, but Vegeta avoids them, mocking the fighter as he does so. Executing a mid-air backflip, Vegeta sends Zarbon flying with a kick and pursues him. Upon landing, Vegeta appears behind Zarbon, kicking him in the back as he skids across Namek's terrain. Vegeta mocks Zarbon once more, but he laughs as he begins to rise to his feet, commending Vegeta's progress, but warns that he's awakened a long dormant power within him. Vegeta finds Zarbon's warning about his hidden power amusing, but the alien elaborates, explaining that although he loathes changing his attractive form, he'll make an exception to avoid dying. Vegeta, however, scoffs, mocking the idea of Zarbon transforming like Saiyans do. Undeterred, Zarbon asserts his strength once more, morphs into a grotesque, powerful form, and lunges at Vegeta. He grabs Vegeta's head and delivers a brutal headbutt before flinging him skyward. However, Vegeta regains control and dives back down to face Zarbon. The two collide in mid-air, Zarbon's fist connecting with Vegeta's face. He then sends Vegeta flying with a powerful kick, and the two stop in mid-air. Gasping for air, Vegeta is noticeably rattled, surprised at how strong Zarbon's become. Seizing the moment, Zarbon mocks Vegeta for his arrogance and reveals another shocking fact, as Frieza too is from a race capable of transformation. Vegeta is visibly unnerved, and Zarbon adds that if Vegeta can't beat him, he has no chance against Frieza, and releases a massive ki blast. Vegeta narrowly evades the attack, but Zarbon quickly grabs him from behind and plunges downward, smashing Vegeta head first into the ground as Namek's ocean waves crash into the crater he lies in. Confident that Vegeta is either dead or drowning, Zarbon reverts to his original handsome form and flies off to update Frieza on the situation. After he departs, a battered Vegeta slowly resurfaces. Struggling to pull himself onto land, he vows not to die and to become stronger. Meanwhile, another one of Frieza's henchmen, a Pool, wonders why an unvisited village has already been decimated and deduces it's the work of Vegeta. Deciding he must inform Frieza, he flies off. Back at their spaceship, Frieza is gazing out of a large window when Zarbon appears. Frieza inquires if Zarbon has found a village, to which Zarbon replies that he hasn't, but states he's dealt with Vegeta. When asked if Vegeta is dead, Zarbon admits that while he didn't confirm, the severity of Vegeta's injuries make survival unlikely. Frieza questions why he didn't confirm Vegeta's death, and Zarbon explains that Vegeta was underwater when he was defeated, prompting Frieza to angrily state that Zarbon avoided confirmation because he didn't want to get wet. Acknowledging his oversight, Zarbon vows to confirm immediately. Just then, a pool arrives to report a destroyed village. Suspecting Vegeta, but puzzled that he wasn't carrying a Dragon Ball, Frieza orders Zarbon to fetch Vegeta, now threatening his life if Vegeta is dead after all. Frieza also tells a pool to summon the Ginyu Force to arrive in 5 days. Surprised, Zarbon inquires why Frieza needs the Ginyu Force. Frieza states he has an unsettling feeling about a strong Saiyan. Although he's sure it's not Vegeta, he believes there's someone out there who's destined to be his enemy. Zarbon speculates that if it's not Vegeta, it must be someone from Earth, but points out that they're likely weaker. Unamused, Frieza tells Zarbon to hasten and retrieve Vegeta. After Zarbon leaves, Frieza ponders the Saiyans' limitless fighting potential. He states to himself that although they're no match for him, their continuous emergence could be problematic, especially if a Super Saiyan appears. Elsewhere, Vegeta drags himself along the ground and eventually passes out. Zarbon returns, spots him, and decides that Vegeta will require medical attention in order to get the Dragon Ball's location out of him. Roughly 1 day has passed on Namek, and Goku continues his non-stop training before eventually collapsing to the floor, declaring he's now mastered 50 times Earth's gravity. Meanwhile, Krillin and Dende are resting on an island. Krillin wakes up, urges Dende to lead them to the Grand Elder's location, and they take off flying. Dende directs Krillin, and they arrive at a house atop of a tall rock. Here, they're greeted by a young Namekian named Nail, who looks similar to Piccolo. Nail reveals that the Grand Elder is already aware of the situation. When questioned by Dende why they haven't left, Nail explains it's his duty to stay as the Elder is nearing the end of his life. Inside, they find the Elder, a hefty, old Namekian seated in a large chair. He thanks Krillin for saving Dende, to which Krillin modestly responds it was no big deal. The Grand Elder mourns over the loss of his Namekian children to the hands of the villains, as he states he's aware of their pursuit of the Dragon Balls. To obtain the Dragon Balls on planet Namek, one must demonstrate wisdom and strength, and he finds it disheartening that these sacred artifacts might be misused. Krillin straightforwardly expresses his desire to take the Dragon Ball above the Grand Elder's chair, the one-star ball, to ensure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands. Dende agrees, thinking that Krillin should also have it to resurrect their Earth's Dragon Balls. The Grand Elder expresses amazement upon learning that Earth also possesses Dragon Balls, and inquires if there are Namekians there. Krillin elaborates that long ago, a Namekian sought refuge on Earth during their planet's crisis. Realizing that it was Kami, the Grand Elder marvels at the young child's survival, describing him as a prodigy of the Dragon Clan capable of creating Dragon Balls. The Grand Elder speculates that the genius must have met his end or was killed, and Krillin confirms that he was killed by Vegeta, the Saiyan who had come to Namek. The Grand Elder inquires if the Saiyan who eliminated the Dragon Clan genius was a Super Saiyan, and Krillin is puzzled by the term, but complies when asked to come closer, allowing the Grand Elder to delve into his memories. During the mental probe, the Grand Elder realizes that Kami split himself in half, effectively halving his power. He assures Krillin that his wish is valid and hands him the one-star ball. However, he warns that the Dragon Balls will become inaccessible once he passes away in a few days, preventing their misuse by the villains. Krillin swears to protect the Dragon Ball with his life, ensuring that the villains won't attain eternal life. The Grand Elder, immobilized and helpless, doubts even Nail could protect him if Frieza were to arrive. The Grand Elder then offers to awaken more of Krillin's latent power, placing his hand on Krillin's head. The process ensues, and Krillin is thrilled that he had so much power within him all along. He thanks the Grand Elder and wonders if the same can be done for a child without affecting his lifespan. The Grand Elder assures him there won't be any negative consequences and agrees to awaken the child's power as well. Krillin then requests permission to bring another friend, and the Grand Elder agrees, believing that more strong allies are always welcome. Krillin announces his immediate departure and inquires about the Dragon Ball's fate. The Grand Elder advises him to hold on to it as the future rests in his hands. Krillin tells Dende to remain and departs, heading back to the cave. At the cave, Gohan and Bulma are outside, and Bulma examines the dragon radar. She calls Gohan over and reports that a Dragon Ball is on the move and approaching them, indicating Krillin is returning with with it. They then spot another Dragon Ball nearby, distinct from Krillin's and Frieza's set of 5. Gohan gazes in that direction, but senses no trace of Vegeta's energy. Bulma assumes that Vegeta attacked the village, failed to locate the Dragon Ball, and subsequently left. Aiming to confirm, Gohan requests the radar and sets off to find the missing Dragon Ball. Meanwhile, aboard Frieza's spaceship, Vegeta is recuperating inside a healing chamber. Zarbon and Apul are monitoring him, and Zarbon leaves to update Frieza. Apul takes the opportunity to taunt Vegeta, and suddenly, Vegeta awakens and blasts through the chamber's glass, killing Apul. Startled, Zarbon and Frieza rush back to the room, finding a hole in the ship's wall and believing Vegeta has escaped. However, it's a diversion as Vegeta secretly traverses the ship, eventually locating the chamber housing the Dragon Balls. In another location, Gohan soars through the sky, clutching the Dragon radar, eventually reaching the village and landing. He affirms that Vegeta has indeed eradicated the village and sets out on a quest to locate the Dragon Ball that eluded Vegeta's grasp. The radar directs him to the water, surprising him as he thought the Dragon Ball would be in one of the houses. Gohan dives underwater, retrieves the Dragon Ball, and resurfaces, convinced the villagers concealed it there. Meanwhile, outside of Frieza's spaceship, Zarbon scours the area for Vegeta and becomes increasingly frustrated by his evasive tactics. Frieza remains inside the ship, shouting orders through the damage Vegeta created and demanding that Zarbon apprehend the Saiyan. Unbeknownst to them, Vegeta hatches a clever plan as he realizes he can't simply remove the Dragon Balls without being caught. He then screams to his enemies, telling them that he's still aboard their ship. Both Zarbon and Frieza hear his taunt, and Vegeta fires a powerful energy blast down the hallway, destroying another part of the ship. Zarbon hastily re-enters the ship, and Vegeta proceeds to the chamber containing the Dragon Balls, piercing through the glass to escape. As Zarbon and Frieza attempt to reach him, they encounter a thick cloud of smoke and debris created by Vegeta's blast. Seizing the opportunity, Vegeta tosses each of the Dragon Balls, one after another, out through the shattered glass and flees soon after. Realizing Vegeta's objective too late, Frieza orders Zarbon to search the outside of the ship while he searches the inside. Frieza expresses skepticism that Vegeta could have fled far with 5 Dragon Balls and threatens Zarbon with death if they don't find Vegeta within an hour. Meanwhile, Vegeta lands on a distant shore where he expects the Dragon Balls to have landed. Sure enough, all 5 Dragon Balls are scattered before him, prompting him to gloat over his victory. He relocates them to a concealed spot amongst the rocks and expects to do the same for the one he left in the waters of the destroyed Namekian village. Suddenly, he detects a significant power level approaching, but notes it's not as strong as Zarbon's. Surprisingly, it's Krillin, excitedly flying through the sky with the 1-star ball in his possession. Krillin is oblivious to Vegeta's presence, and Vegeta ponders the Earthling's unexpected appearance before deciding to pursue him, knowing that he holds the final Dragon Ball. Krillin's excitement mounts as he nears his destination, closely followed by Vegeta. Vegeta suspects Krillin is also in pursuit of the Dragon Balls, but states it won't matter because soon Vegeta will possess all 7. Meanwhile, Zarbon is in a frantic search for Vegeta, regretting the absence of his scouter. Suddenly, he spots someone soaring through the sky. To his disappointment, it's not Vegeta, but the individual who rescued the young Namekian from Dodoria. He notices this person possesses a Dragon Ball, and then Zarbon notices Vegeta chasing after him. Without hesitation, Zarbon follows suit and pursues both of them. Vegeta detects a formidable power behind him and realizes Zarbon has located him. However, he sees this as an opportunity to eliminate Zarbon and believes he'll become overconfident. Meanwhile, Bulma is seated outside the cave, engrossed in her reading, when Krillin arrives and startles her. She expresses amazement about the immense size of the Namekian Dragon Balls, and Krillin inquires about Gohan, hoping to take him to see the Grand Elder as well. However, Bulma informs him that Gohan has gone to the village attacked by Vegeta to search for another Dragon Ball using the radar. Suddenly, Krillin senses a nearby power approaching, and Bulma assumes it's Gohan returning swiftly. Krillin corrects her though, revealing that it's not Gohan, but Vegeta who's now landed. Krillin is shocked by this unexpected turn of events, angry with himself for not noticing Vegeta tailing him. Vegeta explains that he and Krillin appear to share the same goal, and then looks behind him, hinting at an impending issue. Vegeta asserts that he needs to handle something before taking the Dragon Ball, and warns that if anyone tries to escape, he'll kill them. Just then, Zarbon arrives. Bulma surmises that the newcomer must be a champion of justice based on his appearance, but Krillin thinks otherwise. Zarbon is furious and states that Frieza's trust in him has waned due to Vegeta's actions. He speculates that the person with the Dragon Ball must be working with Vegeta and demands they reveal the location of the remaining Dragon Balls, threatening to inflict severe harm if they don't cooperate. Vegeta dares him to try, and Zarbon, confident in his abilities, reveals his monstrous transformation once more. before. Krillin and Bulma become alarmed, convinced that Zarbon is evil after all. Zarbon advances toward Vegeta, but the Saiyan drops to the ground to evade his attack. He seizes a clump of dirt, flies into the air, and releases it into Zarbon's eyes, temporarily blinding him. As Zarbon grapples with his impaired vision, Vegeta swoops down behind him and delivers a powerful punch to his back. The forceful punch shatters Zarbon's armor, propelling him forward, and Vegeta swiftly follows suit, knocking Zarbon down into the water. Vegeta proceeds to unleash a barrage of energy blasts into the water, creating a chaotic display. Krillin suggests that it's an opportune moment to escape, but Bulma reminds him of Vegeta's deadly threat. Despite the risk, Krillin seizes Bulma's arm and takes flight, emphasizing that they'll meet their demise anyway if they stay. Observing their attempt to flee, Vegeta intercepts them with a few well-aimed blasts. Subsequently, Zarbon emerges from the water, prompting Vegeta to return to solid ground. Zarbon, battered and furious, faces Vegeta's taunts, as the Saiyan asserts that Zarbon's impending death is undeniable. Zarbon, however, disputes this claim, citing his higher battle power, prompting Vegeta to explain the Saiyan's resilience, emphasizing that when a Saiyan recovers from near death, their battle power experiences a rapid surge. Zarbon panics, realizing the implications, while Krillin notes the similarity to Goku's experiences, stating it's no wonder Vegeta got such a crazy boost in strength. Despite his increased power, Zarbon insists that Vegeta can't defeat him in his transformed state and charges at him, as Vegeta exclaims that the might of the Saiyan race should never be underestimated. Vegeta skillfully fends off Zarbon's assault, ultimately piercing through Zarbon's armor and thrusting his fist through his stomach. Zarbon, in desperation, pleads for forgiveness, citing his compliance with Frieza's orders. Unmoved, Vegeta dismisses his plea, prompting Zarbon to propose an alliance against Frieza. However, Vegeta, with his hands still inside Zarbon, releases a blast, piercing through Zarbon's back and propelling his lifeless body into the water. Vegeta dismisses the idea of collaboration, stating that even together they couldn't defeat Frieza. Turning his attention to Krillin, Vegeta acknowledges Krillin's improved strength since their earthly encounter. Krillin offers to surrender the Dragon Ball in exchange for he and Bulma's safety, and Vegeta agrees, recognizing that toying with them is no longer necessary. Now in possession of the one-star ball, Vegeta joyfully declares that with all 7, he'll surpass Frieza and become the strongest in the universe. With that, he departs, leaving Bulma relieved and Krillin expressing hope for Gohan's well-being. Bulma is astonished at how Krillin handed over the Dragon Ball after the considerable trouble he faced to get it, fearing the consequences if Vegeta obtains the last one. Krillin justifies his decision though, emphasizing the threat of being killed otherwise, and expresses hope since Gohan went to find another Dragon Ball. Bulma realizes Gohan is likely on his way back, and Krillin hopes Vegeta doesn't find him. Meanwhile, Gohan flies with the 4-star ball, feeling Vegeta approaching. Gohan lands on an island, hiding behind a small rock with the Dragon Ball, and Vegeta notices him before Gohan can conceal his ki. Approaching the location and growing frustrated at the fleeting power level, Vegeta yells for the stranger to show himself before he destroys the area. Realizing he has no other choice, Gohan pleads for him to wait, places the Dragon Ball down, and climbs on top of the rock, revealing himself. Vegeta hadn't expected to encounter Kakarot's son in such a place, and Gohan panics upon seeing Vegeta with a Dragon Ball, assuming he killed Krillin. However, Vegeta denies it and suggests he can go back and do so if Gohan desires. Vegeta advises Gohan to be thankful he's in a good mood after obtaining all the Dragon Balls. Landing on the rock in front of Gohan, Vegeta inquires about the object in his hand. Nervously, Gohan claims it's a clock, and Vegeta laughs at the Earthling's technology. Vegeta inquires if Kakarot is on Namek, and Gohan replies negatively, explaining their lack of awareness of Vegeta and other evil men being there. Vegeta then mentions their Saiyan lineage and tells Gohan to deliver a message to his father as he knees the boy in his stomach and expresses he'll be destroying Earth soon as he flies off laughing. As Gohan struggles to his feet, he acknowledges the pain he's received, but is relieved that the Dragon Ball wasn't found. At the cave, Bulma informs Krillin that she's turned the house back into a capsule and questions if Gohan has returned. Planning to change locations due to Vegeta's knowledge, Gohan arrives safely and the group is thrilled about the Dragon Ball he holds. Krillin plans to brief Gohan later, but Gohan says he already knows and explains the encounter with Vegeta. Krillin mentions Gohan's luck in safeguarding the Dragon Ball, and meanwhile, Vegeta, swimming in the lake near the attacked village, laughs about universal dominance once his wish is granted. However, he soon realizes the Dragon Ball he hid is missing. Vegeta recalls the spot where he met Gohan and deduces that the boy's possession was no clock after all, but a device to find the Dragon Balls. Infuriated, Vegeta flies out of the water, exclaiming that he'll make the Earthlings pay as he returns to the cave, but finds Gohan and company gone. Unable to detect their ki, he vows to deal with them when they pursue his 6 Dragon Balls. The group, now on an island between 2 rock formations, faces limited space for Bulma's capsule house. Despite Bulma's concerns about amenities, Krillin assures her they'll manage and decides to bring Gohan to the Grand Elder's place, hoping it will enhance his strength enough to rival even Vegeta. As Krillin and Gohan make their way toward the Grand Elder's location, Krillin notes it'll take them a considerable amount of time to reach their destination, but their deliberate pace ensures they remain undetected by Vegeta. Krillin expresses doubt about their current ability to defeat Vegeta as a duo, and Gohan contemplates his potential to rival him, but Krillin suggests that Gohan's Saiyan blood may grant him latent power. Meanwhile, Vegeta arrives at the spot with the 5 Dragon Balls he took from Frieza and drops the 6th one into the collection. Annoyed by the Earthling's Dragon Ball detection device, Vegeta plans to wait until they start moving. He calculates that Frieza, with his damaged spaceship, likely contacted someone to bring more scouters, estimating a 3 to 4 day wait. Vegeta sees an opportunity to obtain eternal life before Frieza gets his new scouters, allowing him to surpass Frieza while he's vulnerable. Elsewhere in space, Goku continues his intense training at 100 times Earth's gravity. After firing a Kamehameha and pushing himself to the brink of death, Goku eats a sensu bean and restores his health. With just 2 days left until his arrival on Namek, Goku continues his routine, oblivious that his near-death experiences are increasing his strength each time. Another day passes, and Goku, unfazed by the training, decides to spend the last day resting and adjusting to regular gravity. Excited about his progress, Goku believes that he can endure a 10 times Kaioken. With 1 day left until reaching planet Namek, Goku bathes and goes to sleep, unaware that he'd gained power greater than the limitations of a normal Saiyan. Meanwhile, Frieza grows impatient, assuming Zarbon has either run away or been killed after 4 days. Anticipating the arrival of the Ginyu Force with scouters, Frieza plans to reclaim the Dragon Balls from Vegeta. The scene shifts to Gohan and Krillin taking a break after 4 days of travel. Krillin worries about the Grand Elder's impending death and suggests picking up the pace as the two take flight at light speed. Unbeknownst to them, Vegeta, concentrating intensely, detects their presence from a distance. Vegeta senses the ki of 2 individuals, Kakarot's son and the little bald guy, but notices they're not heading in his direction. To be cautious, he decides to pursue them, taking the 1-star Dragon Ball with him in case the woman with the Dragon Ball tracking device attempts to locate his stash, and swiftly he zooms off. As Krillin informs Gohan that they're almost there, he envisions Gohan rivaling Vegeta once his latent power is awakened. However, Krillin states the best plan might be to wait for Goku to arrive so they can fight together. As the two approach the Grand Elder's location, their journey takes a tense turn as Krillin senses a powerful energy behind them, revealed to be Vegeta. Urging Gohan to visit the Grand Elder while he confronts Vegeta, Gohan reluctantly complies. Vegeta catches up to Krillin, shocking the Earthling with his speed as he demands the return of the 4-star ball. Krillin remains silent, prompting Vegeta to decide on more forceful measures. Observing Gohan headed toward the direction of the mountain though, Vegeta assumes it's the hiding place for the Dragon Balls, though Krillin protests. Unfazed, Vegeta takes off toward the location, with Krillin following close behind. Inside the Grand Elder's house, Gohan undergoes a power-up while Nail confronts Vegeta outside. As Gohan's power surges, both Krillin and Vegeta feel the change. Vegeta, thinking it might be Kakarot, yells for him to reveal himself. When Gohan steps outside, Vegeta is shocked by the sudden increase in his power. Suddenly, the Grand Elder instructs Dende to alert everyone about a great unknown power approaching Namek. Gohan and Krillin become aware of the approaching presence, with Krillin initially thinking it might be Goku. However, Vegeta panics, declaring that it's the Ginyu Force, 5 powerful individuals. Grabbing Gohan, Vegeta demands the Dragon Balls, promising not to harm them once he attains immortality. Krillin remains skeptical, but Vegeta insists that their only chance to survive is for him to defeat Frieza and his men after becoming immortal. Nail confirms the truth behind the approaching evil powers, and Krillin questions why Gohan can't be granted immortality instead. Vegeta argues that Gohan lacks the necessary skill and experience, and Krillin raises concerns about reviving their friends. Nail explains that the Dragon Balls grant 3 wishes, and urging them not to waste time, Vegeta leads Gohan and Krillin to fly off, leaving the Grand Elder to tell Nail to go with with them. Meanwhile, 5 space pods rapidly approach planet Namek. The 5 ships touch down directly in front of Frieza's spaceship, much to his satisfaction. At the same time, Vegeta, Krillin, and Gohan reach the location where Bulma is concealed. They swiftly grab the 4-star ball and take off again, much to Bulma's confusion as she witnessed their unexpected alliance with Vegeta. Meanwhile, Frieza, now back on the roof of his ship with his hover pod, observes the Ginyu Force members emerging from their ships. Flying to the top of Frieza's ship, they strike dramatic poses and introduce themselves. Recoome, a tall, human-looking man. Burter, a tall, blue man. Jace, a medium-sized, long-haired, pretty boy. Guldo, a short, fat, and ugly 4-eyed alien. And Ginyu, a medium-sized purple alien with horns on his head. In unison, they declare themselves the Ginyu Force, prompting an awkward silence from Frieza. Ginyu, the group's leader, then requests Frieza to brief them on their mission. Frieza explains that Vegeta has seized the Dragon Balls he'd gathered, tasking the Ginyu Force with locating Vegeta, subduing him, and delivering him to Frieza so he can persuade him to reveal the hiding place of the remaining Dragon Balls. Ginyu confidently responds that it's no problem and mentions that their scouters have already detected him. Vegeta, accompanied by 2 individuals with fairly high battle powers, is moving at high speed not far from their location. Frieza orders Ginyu to kill the 2 with Vegeta on sight, and Jace hands Frieza the case of scouters as requested. Ginyu announces their departure and the group fly off. Nearby, observing their movement, Vegeta realizes they don't have much longer to act. Meanwhile, Goku's ship is set to land on planet Namek in 20 minutes. As Goku wakes up and dons his new clothes, there are only 10 minutes left. He urges everyone to stay alive until then, and his ship approaches the planet. Vegeta, Gohan, and Krillin arrive at the location of Vegeta's Dragon Balls, only to be confronted by the Ginyu Force, landing right in front of them. Ginyu greets Vegeta and questions the objects they're holding, while Recoome notes the presence of 5 more behind them. Ginyu remarks that with the 5 behind them and the 2 in their possession, they now have all 7 Dragon Balls. Vegeta refuses to surrender them, prompting Ginyu to state that he'll have to take them forcefully. Krillin privately acknowledges Vegeta's earlier assessment of the Ginyu Force's incredible abilities. However, as he glances at Guldo, he finds him less impressive and wonders why he's a part of the group. Ginyu tells Vegeta to hand over his Dragon Ball once more, but points out they'll kill him no matter what he plans to do. Vegeta points out that despite their scouters being capable of locating people, they can't use them to find the Dragon Balls. In response, he tosses the 1-star ball into the distance, but Burter swiftly catches it and brings it back, leaving Vegeta astonished. Ginyu explains that Burter is the fastest in the universe, much to everyone's shock. Ginyu then states that there's 1 more Dragon Ball left, and Vegeta instructs Krillin to break it. Krillin raises his fist to shatter the 4-star ball, but Guldo intervenes, making the ball disappear from Krillin's hand and reappear in Guldo's grasp. Gohan and Krillin are bewildered by this display, and Vegeta speculates that the rumors about Guldo's ability to control and stop time are true. Ginyu announces that with all 7 Dragon Balls now in their possession, all that remains is for the Earthlings and Vegeta to be killed. Krillin questions if fighting is the only option, and Vegeta warns Krillin that running is futile. Ginyu decides to take on Vegeta himself, while the others decide who will take on the remaining 2 through rock, paper, scissors. However, the group complains, and Ginyu instead allows them to decide who will kill the 3 amongst themselves, while he takes the Dragon Balls back to Frieza. The group begin their game of rock, paper, scissors, and Gohan contemplates the possibility of fleeing. Recoome and Guldo end up in the final round of the game, and Recoome wins, revealing that he'll take on Vegeta, and Guldo, who comes in second, gets Krillin and Gohan. Ginyu uses telekinesis to lift all 7 Dragon Balls into the air and flies off to deliver them to Frieza. Gohan considers intervening, but Vegeta urges him to save his energy, while also informing Krillin about Guldo's low battle power and his ability to use supernatural powers. Vegeta expresses the need for Kakarot to arrive soon, as they could use another ally, and Gohan is displeased with the situation, thinking that if they die, the trip to Namek will have been for nothing. Recoome grows impatient, and Gohan, Krillin, and Vegeta ready themselves for battle. Recoome advises Guldo to eliminate the 2 smaller opponents first, as they'd likely get in his way. Vegeta criticizes their nonchalant attitude, likening their approach to a game. Krillin reminds Gohan of their image training from the spaceship, and Guldo declares that it's time to end them. Krillin urges Gohan to release his ki as the 2 explode in fury, and both of them ascend into the air in opposite directions, launching a ki blast down at Guldo. Guldo yells stop, and time freezes as he moves out of the way of the 2 blasts. He prepares to use his psychic attack on Krillin and and Gohan, but when he looks up into the air, they've moved quite a ways away. Time then unfreezes as Guldo can't hold his breath to maintain the effect, and the two blasts hit the ground. Gohan and Krillin start moving again and notice Guldo has moved. They head towards him and then vanish, so Guldo freezes time once more. They're both stopped mid-air, diving toward Guldo from opposite sides, and Guldo thinks if he attacks them while time is stopped, it'll use too much energy. In response, Guldo runs over to hide behind a rock, believing the two won't be able to find him. He unfreezes time, and Krillin and Gohan know where he is right away. Guldo freaks out and says he can't stop time anymore as they fly toward him, and he uses a paralysis technique to hold them in place. He wonders how they knew his location without using scouters, and jokes about his plans to kill them. Meanwhile, the other three Ginyu Force members have moved to another spot, and Jace expresses his surprise as their enemies have battle powers over 10,000. Birder states they're an unusual race that can alter their battle powers without transforming, and Recoome says Vegeta has good allies. Vegeta expresses his disappointment, stating how Gohan and Krillin were stupid for attacking from the front after he told them to be careful of Guldo's psychic attack. Guldo telekinetically rips a little tree out of the ground and cuts off the tip, sharpening it. He decides he'll first kill Krillin with it and then use a different type of psychic attack to kill Gohan. The two attempt to remove themselves from harm, but it's no use as their nerves are paralyzed. In a final move, Guldo throws the tree toward Krillin, but Vegeta suddenly chops off Guldo's head, which frees Gohan and Krillin from the psychic attack. A decapitated Guldo tells Vegeta he fought dirty, as this was just supposed to be a fight between him and the runts. Vegeta, however, responds that nothing is dirty in war, and Guldo utters a final remark about the Saiyans being vulgar monkeys. Vegeta finally gets fed up with him talking and blasts his head away, prompting Krillin and Gohan to thank Vegeta, but he says he wasn't doing it for them. It was just the perfect chance to defeat Guldo. Vegeta states this is the end of their good luck though, as Jace and Birder on the sidelines can't believe Guldo's been killed. Recoome says their special fighting pose won't be pretty anymore, and they'll have to think up a new pose for only 4 members now. Jace and Birder then do rock, paper, scissors to decide who'll take on the 2 little guys now, as Vegeta says from here on out, the real hell begins. Recoome advances toward Vegeta, stating it's their time to fight. He tells Gohan and Krillin to feel free and jump in at any time, and then strikes some ridiculous poses. Vegeta suddenly starts to power up, and Jace says his battle power has shot up close to 30,000. Vegeta flies over toward Recoome and punches him in the face, then flies behind him and pounds him into the ground. Vegeta then stomps down on Recoome's chest, then tosses him into a rock formation. Vegeta then charges his hands up and fires a huge blast over toward Recoome, causing a massive explosion that Gohan and Krillin barely managed to avoid. Vegeta stops, and Krillin comments on how awesome Vegeta is, but suddenly they all feel Recoome's ki again. The smoke clears, and Recoome stands before the group in a goofy pose, surprising them as he hadn't taken any damage at all. He states it's been a good warm-up and plans to get serious as he unleashes his Recoome kick and flies toward Vegeta, kneeing him hard in the face. Vegeta is sent flying backward, but he catches himself and bounces off the ground, then flies toward Recoome with a punch, but Recoome blocks it. Vegeta then throws a series of punches, but Recoome skillfully blocks them all. Recoome elbows Vegeta on the head, knocking him down. Recoome comes down to hit him again, but Vegeta jumps up backward, prompting Recoome to pursue him. Vegeta changes his direction and throws a blast down toward Recoome. However, Recoome speeds up to dodge it, then ends up in the air right behind Vegeta as he kicks him down into the water. Vegeta swims underwater for a while, then darts up, delivering a powerful punch to Recoome in the stomach. It momentarily stuns Recoome, but he recovers, grabbing Vegeta by the waist, pulling him over his head, and driving him head first into the ground. Recoome pulls Vegeta up, holding him by his leg, and questions if he's already dead. However, Vegeta suddenly extends his hands and blasts Recoome in the face, knocking him backward. The Saiyan Prince slowly stands up injured, and Recoome hops back up as well. He appears battered, but far from injured, much to everyone's shock. Vegeta, however, looks severely injured and struggles for breath as Recoome makes fun of him. Vegeta is furious about the situation, realizing he's been toyed with the entire time and believes he'll be killed. Krillin expresses concern, stating that if Vegeta is killed, they're next. He doubts they could prevail even with Goku and suggests to Gohan that they should intervene to help. Meanwhile, there are 2 minutes until Goku arrives on planet Namek. Recoome declares his next move as the finale, and Krillin informs Gohan they need to attack now, given Vegeta's current lack of strength strength to evade a swift assault. Raccoon then unleashes an enormous eraser gun from his mouth towards Vegeta. Gohan and Krillin take off, with Vegeta weakly attempting to dodge. Krillin lands knee first on top of Raccoon's head, sealing his mouth and halting the rest of the blast. Gohan grabs Vegeta and moves him away from the blast trajectory, and the impact with an island causes a massive explosion. Vegeta urges Gohan to get off of him, criticizing their decision to aid him instead of attacking Raccoon together. Krillin observes the altered planet's shape due to the attack, and Raccoon rises, smoke emanating from his mouth, stating his teeth are messed up now. He calls for Jason Birder, asking if he can also eliminate the two little guys. They agree, but tell him that he'll be treating them to lunch. Raccoon is pleased and kicks Krillin hard, sending him flying. Gohan flies over, shocked to see Krillin immobile. Krillin states his bones are broken and admits he's too weak, even with the power-up from the Grand Elder, and believes it's the end. Raccoon is disappointed that Krillin can't continue playing, and Gohan realizes the responsibility of defeating this enemy falls on him. Meanwhile, Nail, who was supposed to be aiding the Earthlings, has decided to turn back to see the Grand Elder instead, as he feared an evildoer would endanger him. Gohan gets hit, landing on his feet, and fires what resembles a Masenko at Raccoon. Raccoon deflects it back toward Gohan with only his breath, and Gohan narrowly avoids it. Raccoon then attacks Gohan from behind, striking him in his neck. Elsewhere, Frieza praises the Ginyu Force's speed in gathering all 7 Dragon Balls, anticipating the realization of his desire for eternal life. Ginyu suggests a victory dance, but Frieza defers it for another time. Frieza stands over the Dragon Balls, ready to commence as Gohan coughs up blood, wondering where his father is. Frieza proclaims the commencement of the eternal ruler of the universe and calls out for the Dragon Balls to grant him eternal life and youth. However, nothing happens. Ginyu wonders if Frieza now possesses immortality, but Frieza dismisses the notion. Recalling an elder's warning that even with all the Dragon Balls, he couldn't make a wish, Frieza speculates there must be some secret only the Namekians know for a wish to be granted. Despite nearly wiping out the Namekians, Frieza realizes he just needs one to reveal the information. Checking his scouter, he first locates Vegeta and the others, contemplating if they hold the knowledge. Ginyu prepares to instruct his subordinates to cease their assault, but Frieza detects 2 Namekians at the Grand Elder's location, with one more moving toward them. Instructing Ginyu to guard the Dragon Balls, Frieza boards his hover chair and departs for the location. Back at the battlefield, Raccoon launches numerous blasts at Gohan, who narrowly evades them. Subsequently, Raccoon delivers a powerful swipe, sending Gohan flying. Struggling to stand, Krillin weakly advises Gohan to stay down. Gohan, however, declares he's the son of Goku, but Raccoon continues to make fun of him. Charging at Raccoon, determined to win the battle, Gohan is met with laughter. As Gohan attempts an attack, Raccoon executes a flip, delivering a kick to Gohan's neck and breaks it. Gohan collapses, and Jason Birder observe his diminished battle power. Raccoon expresses disappointment in the 3 he's battled and says he'll end them, but suddenly, the Ginyu Force notice a ship landing nearby as Goku's finally arrived on Namek. Raccoon, Jace, Birder, Vegeta, and Krillin all turn their attention toward the spaceship, with Raccoon pondering its origin. Krillin exclaims that Goku has finally arrived and the spaceship door opens, Goku expressing the need to quickly locate Krillin, Gohan, and Bulma. Noticing individuals in different locations and sensing a tremendously large key nearby, Goku concludes that Krillin and Gohan are on the brink of death. He declares his intention to demonstrate the results of his 100 times gravity training and flies off, zooming past Jace and Birder to land next to Gohan. Goku waves at Krillin and then gives Gohan a sensu. Raccoon inquires about Goku's identity, but Goku pays no attention. Jace wonders if Goku is faster than Birder, but Birder dismisses him, stating Goku's battle power is low. Gohan awakens, startling Raccoon and the others. As Goku approaches Krillin, he notices even Vegeta is significantly damaged. Krillin, while consuming his sensu, expresses mixed feelings of happiness and concern. Goku questions the reason, and Krillin doubts Goku's ability to defeat their opponents, noting that even Vegeta couldn't handle them. Goku, surprised that Vegeta was on their side, instructs Krillin to stop talking and allows him to probe his mind. Placing his hand on Krillin's head, Goku gains knowledge about power-ups, Bulma's safety, the theft of the Dragon Balls, and details about Frieza, Vegeta, and the others. Goku is aware that Vegeta saved their lives, leading Krillin to wonder about Goku's newfound ability. Goku mentions having only one sensu left, tossing it to Vegeta and instructs him to consume it. Despite Krillin's skepticism, Goku explains that that he wants to settle the score with Vegeta and declares his intention to handle the remaining foes alone. Recoome finds this intriguing and queries the others about Goku's battle power, learning that it's only around 5,000. Vegeta, perplexed by Goku's behavior, suddenly becomes anxious, wondering if Goku has indeed become the warrior of legend. Recoome finds it strange that Goku is smiling when facing imminent defeat, but Goku asserts that Recoome can't emerge victorious. Recoome finds this amusing, and Krillin is confused, insisting that Goku isn't the type to bluff like this. In his thoughts, Vegeta contemplates the possibility of Goku becoming a Super Saiyan, deeming it impossible. He dismisses the notion, believing it as just a stupid legend, and asserts that if it were true, he should be the only one capable of attaining such power. Recoome declares it's time to silence Goku and initiates the Recoome Mac attack. Recoome charges at Goku, but at the last moment, Goku vanishes and Recoome strikes empty air. Baffled by Goku's disappearance, everyone looks around and Vegeta looks in the direction of Jason Birder, who now realize Goku is standing behind them. Goku advises the two to retreat and then returns near Recoome, as Krillin observes that Vegeta was the only one who noticed Goku's swift movements. Recoome shows a lack of concern and states that the next move will send all 4 of his enemies to the next world. As Recoome powers up his final attack, Goku intervenes and elbows him in the stomach. Appearing to be in extreme pain, Recoome collapses, leaving Krillin, Gohan, Jace, and Birder astonished. However, Vegeta acknowledges the severity of the attack, recognizing it as no ordinary strike. He realizes that Goku has surpassed the normal limitations of a Saiyan and is a different person than the one he faced on Earth. Intrigued and somewhat skeptical, Vegeta questions whether the legend of the Super Saiyan is true and ponders the kind of training Goku underwent. Goku looks over to Jason Birder and questions if they'll go back to their own planet or end up like Recoome. They're not worried though, stating that this stranger only got a leg up on Recoome because he dropped his guard. As the two ready themselves to charge toward Goku, Vegeta remains on the sidelines, insisting that Goku's already won. They fly over to Goku. Jace stops in front of him and Birder behind him. Jace starts to talk about what happens when you mess with the Ginyu Force, but Goku punches him in the face before he can finish, busting his nose. Goku mocks the two as their team leave themselves open too much, and Jace gets pissed and kicks at Goku and Birder elbows at him, but Goku holds off both with ease. He knees Jace away and sweep kicks Birder, then unleashes a shockwave, sending them both flying off even further. Krillin can't believe he blew them away with just a push, and Gohan wonders if the Ginyu Force is truly as strong as they thought. Krillin says they are though, as even Vegeta was no match for them, and Recoome was around the same level of power as Jason Birder. He hypothesizes that Goku must be so powerful now that it's making the others look weak in comparison. Jace wonders what's going on, as Goku's battle power is unmistakably only 5,000. However, Vegeta asserts that Kakarot's battle power briefly raises at the moment of attack, and figures he's doing this to conserve energy. Birder tells Jace via Scouter to use his Crusher Ball, explaining that since he's the fastest in the universe, he'll attack Goku when he tries to run away. Jace agrees and creates a big ball of ki and swats it like a volleyball toward Goku. Goku, however, doesn't move until the last second when he knocks it away and it nearly hits Birder. Jace can't believe he deflected it, as Goku suddenly appears mid-air behind Birder. Jace yells out to Birder, alerting him of Goku's presence. Birder turns around and he can't believe Goku is there, as he's supposed to be the fastest in the universe. Goku says maybe he's the second fastest now, and Jace becomes anxious, as not only did the stranger brush aside his Crusher Ball, but he's also running circles around Birder. Birder questions Goku on who the heck he is, and Goku states that he's a Saiyan raised on Earth. Birder tells him to cut the crap, as Saiyans shouldn't be that fast, and Goku says it must be from his intense training. Birder asserts Goku can't win with speed alone and moves into attack, but Goku dodges. Goku effortlessly dodges more of Birder's attacks, and Jace joins in as well. Goku soon decides to show that he has more than just speed, and appears behind Birder and kicks him off into the distance. He then flies above Birder and elbows him down toward the ground. However, Goku gets to the ground first and catches Birder, then tosses his unconscious body aside. Goku yells out to Jace to stop this pointless fight, and exclaims that both of his friends are still alive, so he should quickly take them and leave planet Namek. Vegeta questions Kakarot on what he's doing and urges him to finish the Ginyu Force. Goku, however, responds that they can't even move, so there's no point in killing them. Jace can't believe of what's become of the Ginyu Force, 5 of the most super elite warriors in the universe. He starts freaking freaking out and flies off, but Goku isn't concerned. Krillin questions if this is really the Goku they know, and suddenly, Vegeta lands knee first on Burter's neck and kills him. He then sends a ki blast toward Recoome and kills him too. Goku can't believe Vegeta killed them, but Vegeta just tells him he's naive and scolds him for letting one of them get away. He tells Goku that perhaps he wasn't able to become a Super Saiyan after all, which confuses him. Vegeta then exclaims that no matter how strong Kakarot is, he absolutely can't win against a terrifying monster like Frieza unless he retorts to lethal measures. Meanwhile, Frieza approaches the Grand Elder's home. Goku questions if he really stands no chance against Frieza, and Vegeta says it's true. The only way he'll be able to best Frieza is if he's prepared. Krillin goes on about how easily Goku just defeated the Ginyu Force, but Vegeta asserts that Frieza is an entirely different beast. He also says that Frieza's probably received immortality from the Dragon Balls by now, and thinks they should just pray they don't run into him. Krillin doubts that though, and explains that if Namekian Dragon Balls are anything like the ones on Earth, the sky should turn dark when Shenron appears. Vegeta questions what Shenron is, and if that's what comes out when the Dragon Balls are gathered, and Goku realizes Frieza probably doesn't know the password, so there's still a chance for them to have their wish granted. Meanwhile, Jace has made it back to Frieza's ship, and Ginyu can't believe that Guldo, Recoome, and Burter have all been killed. Jace wonders if they should contact Frieza, but Ginyu says he wants to handle this personally. He tells Jace to hide the Dragon Balls, as Frieza would be pissed if they were stolen. So, he buries them right next to the ship, confident that no one will find them. They then prepare to leave and do their fighting pose, but Ginyu realizes their special fighting pose is no good with only two of them, and gets really angry as the two fly off. Back at the battlefield, Vegeta questions if Goku plans on defeating Frieza, and Goku says maybe, but first he needs to return everyone to life that Vegeta killed on Earth. Vegeta tells him it's pointless to waste a wish on that, and should give him immortality instead. Krillin, however, protests, stating that it would be no better than if Frieza had immortality, and Vegeta notices there are two battle powers coming their way. Jace has returned and brought Captain Ginyu with him, and Vegeta says this time it'll be difficult even for Kakarot, and Krillin grows worried. Vegeta then wonders where Frieza is, since he's not at the spaceship where Ginyu took the Dragon Balls. Goku says he feels a strong ki over in the opposite direction, and figures it must be Frieza. Suddenly, Krillin and Gohan freak out, as that's the direction where the Grand Elder lives. Krillin realizes Frieza must have gone to a Namekian to find out how to get his wish granted, and Goku questions if the Grand Elder is the creator of the Dragon Balls. Gohan realizes Frieza will probably kill the Grand Elder if and when he tells Frieza how to get his wish, and states that Frieza doesn't know that once the Grand Elder dies, the Dragon Balls will be lost forever. Vegeta is surprised to hear this, as Jace and Ginyu come flying in. Krillin wonders if Goku can win this time, and Goku says he won't know until he tries. Goku then assesses Ginyu's power, and states he's much stronger than the others. Ginyu notes Goku's battle power is about 5,000, and Jace says it's really strange. However, Ginyu calls him an idiot, and explains how foolish it is to rely on a scouter's figure. He figures this guy must be the type that can instantly raise their battle power, and guesses his actual battle power must be around 60,000. Jace can't believe a Saiyan would be that strong, but Ginyu says he might be a naturally gifted fighter like they are. Goku says he'll hold off Ginyu while Krillin and Gohan get the Dragon Radar and search for the Dragon Balls. Goku tells Vegeta to focus on Jace, going on to say that Vegeta must have gotten a lot stronger after recovering from near death, surprising Vegeta as Goku knows more about Saiyan biology than he realized. Krillin and Gohan take off, and Jace notes they're getting away, but Ginyu says they're just small fry. Goku readies himself for battle, but Vegeta suddenly takes off and leaves Goku by himself as Ginyu rushes in. Ginyu elbows Goku in the face and sends him flying, but Goku lands on his feet. Ginyu appears behind him and swipes at Goku, but Goku ducks it, then kicks back at Ginyu. The two of them trade punches and break, landing far from one another. Goku is pissed at Vegeta for bailing on him, and says he'll need to wrap things up quickly, otherwise Vegeta will claim the Dragon Balls for himself. Meanwhile, Vegeta says to himself that Kakarot and Ginyu are about the same strength, and hopes they finish each other off to give him the advantage of getting his wish granted. In the meantime, he'll get Gohan and Krillin to tell him the password for making a wish on the Dragon Balls, then be granted immortality to fight Frieza. Back at the battlefield, Ginyu tells Goku that they're quite alike, as he's also the type that can freely alter his battle power. On the sidelines, Jace thinks to himself that even if Goku's power is 60,000, Captain Ginyu still has a much greater battle power himself. Ginyu charges up and unleashes a huge blast, but Goku jumps into the air and out of the way. Goku comes down behind Ginyu and tries to kick him in the back of the head, but Ginyu evades it. Ginyu swipes at Goku, but Goku disappears and reappears at Ginyu's side, and Ginyu blocks a kick. The two then exchange a few punches until Ginyu flies up into the air. Goku does the same, much quicker and much higher, and Ginyu is astonished at his speed. A blast then comes up at Goku, which he just barely avoids, and Ginyu comes up from behind and locks Goku in a full Nelson position. It was Jace who'd fired the blast, and he yells up, telling Ginyu to snap Goku in two. Struggling to break free, Goku feels he has no choice but to use the Kaioken, but Ginyu suddenly releases him. Jace is shocked, and Ginyu yells that he didn't ask for help and says if Jace interferes again, he'll kill him. Ginyu then says he noticed Goku hasn't been using his true power and figures he's saving that for Frieza. Goku says he'll show him his real power and tells him to watch on his scouter to see how strong he really is. Goku then starts to power up using the Kaioken, and Ginyu freaks out as his battle power goes from 90,000 to 100,000 to 110,000 and continues to rise. 120,000, 130,000, 140,000. Goku's power level continues to rise, but then he stops at 180,000, leaving Ginyu in disbelief. Jace thinks there's no way they can win since Captain Ginyu's highest power level is only 120,000, and Goku states the power he has is nothing compared to what he can put out in short bursts. Ginyu wonders if Goku is actually a Super Saiyan, and Goku recalls Vegeta mentioning something about that, but he remains uncertain of what he means. Jace panics at the idea of a Super Saiyan, the all-powerful warrior of legend, and the one thing Frieza fears most. Goku asserts that the Ginyu Force can't defeat him and insists they leave the planet as he doesn't want to waste time fighting them. Ginyu can't believe what he's hearing and questions if Goku is serious. Goku affirms that he is, considering Ginyu's belief in a fair fight, and expresses reluctance to kill him. Ginyu contemplates that a Super Saiyan, the strongest warrior in the entire universe, would relish blood in battle, prompting him to conclude that Goku must not be a Super Saiyan yet. However, Ginyu acknowledges Goku's strength and states that he's been waiting for someone like him to come along. Meanwhile, Frieza approaches the Grand Elder's house and notices that there are only 3 Namekians there. Nail realizes Frieza is approaching, and the Grand Elder finishes powering up Dende. He instructs Dende to hurry and assist the Earthlings, and reluctantly, Dende leaves, urging the Grand Elder not to die. Dende flies past Frieza on his way out, but Frieza pays no attention. Frieza then lands and exits his pod. Soon after, Nail comes out of the house and questions what Frieza wants. Frieza explains that he's gathered all 7 of the Namekian Dragon Balls but can't make a wish, so he demands Nail to tell him how to do so. Nail refuses, stating that he would never aid an evil person like Frieza. Frieza suggests that Nail should be more obedient, threatening to kill him since there are 2 Namekians present. Nail accepts, but states before they engage in combat, he insists on explaining something. The other person within the house is the Grand Elder, creator of the Namekian Dragon Balls. He says if Frieza were to kill the Elder, the Dragon Balls would cease to exist. Frieza questions who the Grand Elder is and fires his eye lasers at the top of the house. He then flies up to inspect the inside. Frieza looks at the Elder and questions if he'll give him the information he requires, suggesting that he'll kill Nail if he doesn't comply. The Elder informs Frieza that Nail is the only fighting type Namekian on the planet and that he's different from the ones Frieza had killed before. Frieza takes his response as a no, and the Grand Elder telepathically requests Nail to at least buy some time, and Nail agrees. Frieza decides that if the Elder is going to be stubborn, he'll have to demonstrate the terrifying power of the greatest warrior in the entire universe. Frieza contemplates that it might be beneficial to fight where they are, as it may convince the Grand Elder to divulge information. However, Nail suggests changing location since the Grand Elder's life is near its end. They both fly off, and the Grand Elder apologizes to Nail, stating they need time for Dende to reach the Earthlings. Frieza believes they've gone far enough, and they land on an island. Nail removes his shirt, and the ground starts shaking as he begins to power up. Frieza is quite impressed to see Nail's battle power reach 42,000, and acknowledges that he is significantly different from other Namekians. Frieza decides to reveal his own battle power of 530,000, but states that he won't be fighting at full strength. Nail appears surprised, and Frieza decides it'll be more enjoyable to fight with only his left arm. Enraged, Nail charges at Frieza and attempts to chop at his neck. However, it has no effect, and Frieza grabs Nail's arm, tearing it off from the forearm down. Nail screams in pain as blood spurts out, and Frieza elbows elbows him in the stomach, causing Nail to fall over. Despite the injuries, Nail slowly gets back up as Frieza talks down to him. The Namekian regenerates his arm and catches his breath, and Frieza expresses surprise but claims it makes no difference, asserting that Nail's battle power is dropping. Meanwhile, Goku questions why Ginyu is laughing, and Ginyu explains that Goku has a much greater battle power than he does. Goku questions why he would laugh at that, and Jace suspects what Ginyu is planning. Ginyu laughs more and throws his scouter down at Jace, who's certain he knows Ginyu's intentions. Ginyu then surprisingly pierces his own chest, breaking through his armor and leaving a large bloody hole. Struggling through his injuries, he states that Goku may not be a Super Saiyan, but expresses he's taken a liking to his body. He then yells "change," and a bright flash of light occurs between Goku and Ginyu. Soon after, Goku evilly laughs as Ginyu stands clutching the wound in his chest. Much to his satisfaction, Ginyu has successfully switched bodies with Goku. Goku, in Ginyu's body, questions why he can see himself in front of him, and Ginyu, in Goku's body, says it's because they've switched bodies, and Goku sits in shock as Jace gives Ginyu back his scouter. Ginyu suggests heading back to the spaceship, expressing admiration for the newfound speed of his borrowed body. Struggling to move, Goku fears the repercussions, particularly the prospect of encountering Krillin and Gohan in his current state. Despite weak attempts to fly away, Goku worries about alarming Chi-Chi with his unfamiliar appearance upon returning to Earth. Meanwhile, Krillin and Gohan, having reached Bulma's hideout, awaken her and request the Dragon Radar. Before complying, Bulma scolds them for leaving her alone, teaming up with Vegeta and leaving her in the dark through all of it. Krillin urges Bulma to hurry up, but Bulma continues her rant, wondering what's taking them so long to have their wish granted. Gohan locates the Dragon Ball's direction on the radar, prompting them to leave. Despite Bulma's insistence on an explanation, Gohan insists they'll clarify later, emphasizing the urgency, and tells her Goku's arrived on Namek. As they depart, Bulma reflects on Goku's growth and her relationship with Yamcha, contemplating whether she made the right choice in choosing a boyfriend. Meanwhile, Vegeta arrives at Frieza's spaceship, finding it empty. Inside, he searches for the Dragon Balls, speculating on their location. Unfazed, he assumes the Earthlings can use their device to find them. While changing into his new armor, he ponders the mysterious medicine Goku gave him, healing his injuries and restoring his strength. Noticing Gohan and Krillin approaching, Vegeta strategizes to eliminate them after they summon Shenron. The two arrive and locate the Dragon Balls underground, thanks to the Dragon Radar. The two start digging up the Dragon Balls, and Vegeta hides in silence, thinking to himself that he'll dispose of Gohan and Krillin soon enough and gain eternal life. Krillin attempts to summon Shenron, only to be met with silence. Perplexed, Vegeta wonders what's going on, and Gohan considers that the summon may be different on Namek. Suddenly, they detect two approaching evil energy signatures, suspecting Ginyu, and wonder what happened to Goku. Krillin and Gohan hide to avoid detection, and the two cautiously observe Ginyu and Jace landing near the spaceship, much to their surprise. Witnessing the Dragon Balls unearthed, Ginyu and Jace express confusion. Krillin then emerges from hiding, assuming that Goku has defeated Ginyu and that Jace has switched allegiances. Ginyu questions how they located the Dragon Balls, and Krillin explains the use of the Dragon Radar. Despite Ginyu assuming they've made a wish, Krillin reveals that Shenron didn't appear. Krillin questions why Goku is acting so strange, and Gohan interrupts, shouting that the person standing before them isn't his father, but it's too late. Ginyu strikes Krillin, shocking Vegeta as he flies backward, bewildered as Ginyu notes Gohan's position on the battlefield as well. Krillin still remains confused on why Goku would hit him, but Gohan insists once again that this man isn't Goku. Ginyu confirms this theory, stating that he and Goku switched bodies and that he's truly the leader of the Ginyu Force, Captain Ginyu, surprising Gohan, Krillin, and Vegeta. Ginyu states that he'll be giving his new body a test run and charges toward Gohan and Krillin. Meanwhile, Goku, headed toward his friends and struggling to adapt to Ginyu's body, realizes that Ginyu must be grappling with the same issue. Simultaneously, Ginyu engages Krillin and Gohan in combat, displaying what he believes to be Goku's true power. Vegeta remains in hiding, believing that Kakarot's power truly belongs to Ginyu now, and not long after, Goku arrives at the battlefield, still grappling with Ginyu's unfamiliar body. Eventually, Goku unveils the truth, stating that he has indeed had his body stolen. Krillin and Gohan, finally coming to grips with the situation, are instructed by Goku that they should be able to defeat him while Ginyu possesses his body. Ginyu asserts his invincibility in the new body, but Goku warns him that he can't unleash his full power due to unfamiliarity with Goku's techniques like the Kaioken. Ginyu, however, dismisses this, begins powering up, and queries Jace about his battle power, learning it's only 23,000 as opposed to Goku's 180,000. In disbelief, Ginyu is knocked down by Krillin, confirming Goku's statement that they can likely defeat the imposter. Just as Ginyu orders Jace to assist, Vegeta intervenes, declaring that he'll have to get through him first. Thrown back toward the ship, Ginyu recovers and hurls a ki blast at Gohan, who effortlessly blocks, teasing its inefficiency. Bewildered, Ginyu receives a reminder from Krillin about Goku's earlier statement regarding the challenges of using the unfamiliar body. Krillin advises surrender, but Ginyu, infuriated, launches a series of punches, all effortlessly blocked by Krillin. Simultaneously, Vegeta and Jace engage in combat, with Jace puzzled by Vegeta's absence on his scouter. Vegeta dismisses the reliance on the scouter and challenges Jace to gauge his power level now, as it's grown exponentially. Jace's mocking of Vegeta quickly turns to fear as he realizes what the Saiyan speaks is true. To Jace's disbelief, Vegeta claims to be surpassing Saiyan limitations, rapidly approaching the status of a Super Saiyan. Mocking Vegeta's assertion, Jace receives a powerful kick to the face and a devastating chop to his ribcage, shattering his armor. Upside down and coughing blood, Jace faces Vegeta's palm near his face, followed by a devastating blast that obliterates him completely. Everyone notices this, and Goku fears Vegeta overdid it. Vegeta, however, confident in his own power, insists Kakarot's naivety prevents him from becoming a Super Saiyan. Ginyu, shocked by Jace's demise, witnesses Vegeta deciding to finish off Ginyu himself. Vegeta flies in and delivers a harsh blow to Ginyu's gut, followed by a punch to his face, sending him flying. Vegeta follows, kicking Ginyu into the air and pummeling him down to the ground. Struggling to move, Ginyu appears defeated, shocking Gohan and Krillin. Goku pleads with Vegeta not to kill Ginyu in his body, but Vegeta prepares for the final blow. As Vegeta speeds toward Ginyu, Ginyu smirks, and Goku realizes his intentions, prompting Ginyu to suddenly attempt to change bodies with Vegeta. However, Goku realizes he can return to his original body and intercepts the flash of light shooting toward Vegeta just in time. The exchange occurs, and Goku is restored to his own body, while Ginyu reverts to his original form. Angry at Goku's interference, Ginyu is determined to switch bodies with Vegeta without further disruptions. Goku, feeling the effects of the battle, remains immobile, and Gohan confirms that his dad is back in his own body. As Ginyu tells Goku he'll be moving forward with his plan, Goku expresses concern about what might happen if Ginyu manages to take Vegeta's body this time. Vegeta, unable to discern between Goku and Ginyu, watches as Ginyu prepares for another body change. However, spotting a frog, Goku seizes an opportunity. As Ginyu begins the body swapping technique, Goku throws the frog into the light, resulting in a switch between Ginyu and the frog. As the light dissipates, the frog, now in Ginyu form, starts hopping away, much to everyone's shock. Gohan and Krillin approach Goku, helping him up and inquiring about his well-being. Goku mentions the beating his body took from Vegeta, and when Vegeta demands an explanation, Goku reveals that the frog hopping away is actually Ginyu. Vegeta contemplates squashing the frog, but Goku urges him to let Ginyu go since he's harmless in that form. Acknowledging this, Vegeta decides not to pursue Ginyu. The group discusses the lack of senzu beans, and Vegeta taunts them for their current state, saying it'd be easy to wipe them all out right now. Goku reassures Krillin that Vegeta won't kill them though, especially since they're needed to fight against Frieza. Vegeta emphasizes the importance of Kakarot and instructs them to bring Goku into Frieza's ship for medical treatment. As Goku sits in a medical machine, Krillin expresses concern about him drowning, but Goku is seen enjoying the treatment. Vegeta then suggests Gohan and Krillin get proper battle gear, confusing Krillin and causing Gohan to worry about their image. Observing the advanced technology aboard the ship, Krillin contemplates the strength of Frieza, expressing his fear, while Gohan concurs. Vegeta tosses them undersuits before providing them with small-sized battle jackets. Puzzled about wearing the jackets, Krillin and Gohan receive guidance from Vegeta, who assures them of the material's stretchiness and resistance to impact. Impressed with the lightweight feel, Krillin questions the design of Vegeta's shoulderless battle jacket, but Gohan assures him of its flexibility. When asked about Goku's healing time, Vegeta estimates 40 to 50 minutes. Krillin decides to retrieve the password to summon Shenron from the Grand Elder and instructs Gohan to wait with Vegeta as it could get dangerous, and Frieza may be there too. Flying toward the Elder's house, Krillin leaves Gohan behind. Meanwhile, Nail is exhausted from battling Frieza, who, unscathed, insists on Nail divulging the information of the Dragon Balls. Nail attempts a massive blast, but Frieza emerges undamaged. Puzzled by Nail's determination, Frieza punches him to the ground and demands the wish-granting password. However, Nail, anticipating Dende's success in delivering the password to the Earthlings, believes there's no point in revealing it. Frieza, now enraged, realizes that Nail was just buying time to prevent him from getting his wish granted. Frieza then flies off and checks his scouter, shocked that Vegeta and the Earthlings apparently defeated the Ginyu Force. Furious, Frieza vows to be the one granted the wish from Shenron and continues to fly off in Dende's direction. Dende, flying toward one of Namek's districts, recalls the Grand Elder's instructions to deliver the password. The Grand Elder, pondering on recent events, states he should have told the Earthlings the password while they were in his presence, and thinking of Nail's struggles, wishes for Dende's haste as his life nears its end. Meanwhile, Krillin, headed in the direction of the Grand Elder, senses another key, flies over, and discovers Dende. Reuniting with joy, Krillin and Dende share their happiness at seeing each other again. Krillin elaborates on his journey to meet the Grand Elder, sharing the challenge of making a wish, even with all the Dragon Balls. Dende reveals that the Elder anticipated this and sent him with the knowledge to summon the dragon, emphasizing the need to express the wish in Namekian for it to be granted. Worried about the time constraints due to the Elder's declining health and Frieza's imminent arrival, Dende urges them to hasten. At the spaceship, Vegeta's asleep and Gohan senses two approaching Ki, recognizing one as Krillin and the other Dende. The three greet each other and Krillin updates Gohan on their plan to summon the dragon by using the Namekian language. Krillin suggests moving the Dragon Balls so they don't wake Vegeta, and even if they somehow manage to do so, they'd have enough time to make a wish before he caught up to them. As the three collect the Dragon Balls and prepare to summon Shenron, Gohan and Krillin detect Frieza approaching rapidly. Dende begins the summoning chant, and a massive light emanates from the Dragon Balls, turning the sky dark. Frieza, bewildered by the sudden nightfall, pauses mid-air, and back on King Kai's planet, King Kai tells the Z-Fighters that their wishes are about to be granted. Back on Namek, the giant colossal dragon emerges, surpassing Earth's Shenron in size and form. Gohan questions if this is Shenron, and Dende introduces Porunga, otherwise known as the God of Dreams, to the Namekians. Porunga states he'll grant 3 wishes, surprising Krillin, who marvels at the news. However, Dende urges the two to hurry with their wishes before Frieza and Vegeta arrive. Krillin's initial wish, to revive all those killed by the Saiyans on Earth, is met with the revelation that only one person can be revived at a time. Shocked, King Kai relays this to the Z-Fighters on his planet, where Piccolo urgently requests to speak with Gohan. Urged by Dende to hasten, Krillin, uncertain about just using one wish, considers Namek's dragon stingy for allowing only 3 revivals. The dilemma of choosing whom to revive arises among Krillin, Gohan, and the others. On King Kai's planet, Piccolo tells the Kai once more to allow him to speak to Gohan. Placing his hand on King Kai's shoulder, Piccolo communicates with Gohan, explaining that he's speaking from King Kai's place and emphasizing the constraints of a single wish. Piccolo's strategy then unfolds, as he tells Gohan to use the first wish to revive him, which will in turn revive Kami and bring Earth's Dragon Balls back, allowing subsequent revivals. Gohan comprehends, and Piccolo outlines the second wish, to be transported to planet Namek for a showdown with Frieza. Piccolo states he's become much stronger during his time on King Kai's planet and intends to deal with the monster who slaughtered his people. As Krillin conveys the first wish to Dende, he speaks to Porunga in Namekian, and the dragon comprehends. At the same time, Vegeta awakens and senses Frieza approaching. Confused by the sudden nightfall and the absence of Kakarot's son, Vegeta spots the massive dragon and realizes he's been tricked. Furious, he heads toward the group, realizing Frieza is nearly there. Meanwhile, Piccolo's halo vanishes, and Kami returns to life at the lookout above Earth. Gohan relays the second wish to Dende, and Krillin urges the Namekian to hurry as he spots Vegeta rapidly approaching on their location. Dende wishes for Piccolo to be transported to planet Namek, and the Namekian vanishes from King Kai's planet. As Porunga inquires about the group's final wish, Gohan and Krillin search for Piccolo, only to be surprised to learn that Dende didn't specify for Piccolo to appear at their location, but only to the planet itself. At the same time, Vegeta arrives, furious that the trio have destroyed his one and only chance of becoming immortal. As Vegeta advances, Gohan assures him that they still have one wish left, prompting Krillin to call him an idiot for revealing that information. Vegeta is relieved, and Frieza, approaching the Pillar of Light, detects life readings and speculates they must be making their wish. At the same time, Vegeta insists on the immortality wish, and despite Krillin's reluctance, Gohan acknowledges the necessity due to Goku's injury. injuries. Meanwhile, Piccolo arrives on planet Namek. Piccolo takes in his surroundings, feeling an odd connection to the planet. However, he decides this is no time for sentiment and opts to finding Gohan and the others. They don't seem to be within Piccolo's range, but he suddenly picks up on Frieza's ki along with 3 others and takes off toward it. Meanwhile, the third and final wish remains unspoken. Vegeta seizes Dende, urging him to quickly make him immortal, threatening consequences from Frieza. Left with no other options, Krillin implores Dende to fulfill Vegeta's wish, emphasizing Frieza's greater threat. Dende reluctantly agrees, and Vegeta envisions his aspirations of universal domination. However, just before Dende can vocalize the wish, Porunga disappears, the sky reverts to normal, and the Dragon Balls transform to stone. Bewildered, Vegeta demands an explanation, and Dende sadly reveals that the Grand Elder has passed away. Livid, Vegeta directs his anger at the others for deceiving him, but the group halts as they notice Frieza standing above them in anger. Frieza says the group have successfully crushed his dreams of eternal life and youth, and inquires what happened to the Ginyu Force as their readings are absent from his scouter. Frieza goes on to say that the Dragon Balls returning to stone in an instant is unfortunate for Vegeta, but even more so for himself. Descends and states never before has he been so disrespected. Unable to contain his anger any longer, Frieza expresses his fury, threatening to kill each and every one of them and savor every last second of it. Gohan and Krillin break away, and Vegeta challenges Frieza, stating that he won't be beaten easily. Fearing that Vegeta has somehow forgotten how terrifying he can be, Frieza decides to refresh his memory and begins powering up. As Frieza's energy explodes, Gohan, Krillin, and Vegeta grow nervous, and Piccolo senses the escalating ki. However, pausing on his way to the battle, Piccolo detects a faint ki nearby and stands next to the defeated Nail. Observing Nail, Piccolo remarks that he looks just like him and deduces he must be Namekian. Piccolo acknowledges Nail's critical condition, and Nail realizes that Piccolo must be the Namekian the Earthlings referred to. Nail expresses his gratitude for having their wish granted, but Piccolo says he's in a hurry, preparing himself to take off and leave Nail to die. However, Nail compliments Piccolo's strength and suggests that if Piccolo had returned to his original state, also known as his fusion with Kami, he could potentially defeat Frieza. Intrigued, Piccolo questions if assimilating with Kami would surpass Frieza in strength, and Nail confirms, citing his knowledge of Frieza's power. Despite this fact, Piccolo states that it doesn't matter now and refuses to join with Kami anyway. Nail, sensing the urgency, proposes Piccolo assimilate with him instead, emphasizing the exponential increase in power. Despite Piccolo's initial refusal, Nail insists there's no time and urges Piccolo to place his hand on his body. Reluctantly agreeing, Piccolo warns Nail not to alter his personality. Nail reassures him and starts flashing, eventually being absorbed into Piccolo. Now experiencing an overwhelming surge of power, Piccolo is exhilarated, stating no matter who his enemy may be, he can't possibly lose. With newfound confidence, Piccolo flies off, reveling in his delight. Meanwhile, as Frieza continues to power up, he mocks the trio's chances against a dinosaur such as himself. However, Vegeta confidently asserts that he can win with Krillin and Gohan's help, as their powers have grown exponentially and Gohan has a hidden strength greater than he could imagine. Vegeta then goes on to state his additional hidden power and proximity to becoming a Super Saiyan. Though initially amused, assuming Vegeta to be bluffing, Frieza gets angry and charges at him. Vegeta manages to catch Frieza's fists, holding him off until his scouter explodes, forcing them to break apart. Recognizing the need to get serious, Frieza states that there was some truth to Vegeta's claim. In response, Vegeta challenges Frieza to transform and reveal his true form, citing information obtained from Zarbon. Ready for the challenge, Frieza agrees to unveil his true power, much to Gohan and Krillin's surprise. Puzzled by the concept of transformation, Gohan and Krillin seek clarification from Vegeta. Vegeta then explains that some aliens conceal their true forms to conserve energy. However, Frieza asserts his difference, claiming that he has too much power and can't control himself when transformed. Dismissing it as a bluff, Vegeta remains skeptical, but Frieza insists otherwise. To demonstrate his immense power, Frieza recounts attacking the Saiyans' homeworld and defeating the king of planet Vegeta, also known as Vegeta's father, without the need to transform. Unfazed, Vegeta shrugs off the comment, confident that he surpassed his father in strength as a child. Frieza then initiates a power-up, casually discarding his battle jacket. Vegeta then mocks the act, considering it a mere removal of clothes. However, as Frieza intensifies his transformation, his body expands and his horns elongate. To everyone's shock, shock, Frieza now dons a taller, muscular form. Cautioning the group to beware, Frieza warns that he won't be as merciful as before now that he's transformed, and states that his battle power has now reached 1 million. In a display of power, Frieza raises his hand, causing the entire island beneath them to explode. However, Vegeta, Gohan, and Krillin manage to escape unharmed. Krillin, holding Dende, sustains a minor injury from a rock fragment, and commending their evasion, Frieza mocks Vegeta for the look on his face, stating that the Saiyan underestimated his strength. Quickly deciding on his first victim, Frieza soars through the air and impales Krillin through the stomach with his horn, determined to send one of the three to hell. Gohan urgently calls out to Krillin, while Vegeta berates him for being distracted by the Namekian. Frieza mocks Krillin as he sits impaled and violently hurtles him into the sea. Gohan attempts to fly down to rescue Krillin, but Frieza obstructs his path. Dismissing Gohan's efforts, Frieza insists it's futile, telling the boy to worry about himself instead. Enraged, Gohan screams at Frieza to move aside. With sudden ferocity, Gohan kicks Frieza in the face, delivers an uppercut and powerful blows to Frieza's stomach. Gohan then kicks Frieza away and unleashes a massive blast, sending Frieza crashing to the ground. The Saiyan relentlessly continues his assault, launching a barrage of energy blasts at Frieza, leaving Vegeta in disbelief. As Gohan pauses to catch his breath, Vegeta contemplates the immense power Gohan unleashes in his fury, considering the possibility that Gohan might be the closest to achieving Super Saiyan status. Concerned for Krillin, Gohan looks down and spots Dende in the water holding him, and miraculously, he's still breathing. Vegeta urges Gohan to focus on the immediate threat, believing Frieza to still be alive. Gohan observes as Frieza stands up and realizes that their efforts weren't enough. Frieza commends Gohan's attempt, stating that there's more to him than meets the eye. However, Frieza deems his assault insufficient, and Vegeta acknowledges their naivety. Meanwhile, Goku, still in the medical machine, hopes that everyone can hold on a little longer while he completes his healing process. In another location, Piccolo continues flying, noticing Frieza's increased strength. Determined, he declares that he'll be there soon. Gohan notices that Frieza is increasing his power, and Vegeta claims that Frieza can manipulate his battle strength. Frieza declares his intent to repay the damage he received exponentially, while Dende pulls Krillin's body to safety. Gohan sits in fear as Frieza ascends toward him, and Vegeta urgently tells him to retreat. However, Frieza forcefully smashes Gohan into the ground, expressing his desire to enjoy some amusement before delivering the fatal blow. Reacting quickly, Vegeta launches a massive energy blast at Frieza from behind, hoping for success. As the smoke dissipates though, it becomes apparent that Frieza remains unharmed. With a nonchalant tone, Frieza informs Vegeta that they can engage in their little game once he disposes of the young Saiyan, and Vegeta despairs, believing their situation to be hopeless. As Frieza descends next to Gohan on the ground, he mocks him, asking how he'd like to be killed. Despite Gohan's attempts to resist with kicks and punches, Frieza effortlessly evades his attacks. Seizing Gohan by the hair, Frieza delivers a knee to his abdomen and throws him to the ground. As Gohan struggles to rise, Frieza prepares to crush him under his foot, but Gohan counters by blasting the ground and propelling himself into the air. In a swift move, Frieza appears behind Gohan and strikes him down with his tail. Gohan tries to stand again, but this time, Frieza surprises him by attacking him from a different angle, elbowing him in the back of the head and knocking him down once more. With Gohan on the ground, Frieza places his foot on the child's head, causing the young Saiyan to scream in pain as Frieza applies pressure, seemingly intent on crushing him like a grape. Continuing to press his foot on Gohan's head, Frieza taunts Vegeta, questioning if he has any intention on saving the young Saiyan. Despite Vegeta's internal dismissal of concern for Gohan, he acknowledges that Frieza's power surpasses his expectations. Meanwhile, inside the medical machine, Goku observes Gohan's rapidly declining energy and realizes he may have to interrupt his healing process to save him. Suddenly, Frieza declares Gohan's imminent demise, but abruptly halts as he notices something. Frieza jumps off Gohan as a Destructo disc launched in rapidly cuts off half of his tail. To everyone's surprise, Krillin is fully healed with only a hole in his battle jacket as evidence of his previous injury. In response, Krillin bombards Frieza with a barrage of Destructo disc attacks, prompting Goku to notice Krillin's restored energy. Frieza manages to dodge the discs, and Krillin mocks Frieza, leading him on a chase, displaying remarkable agility. Eventually, Frieza confronts Krillin, confused on how he made it back to the battle, but vowing to obliterate him for his audacity. Suddenly, Krillin employs the solar flare technique, blinding Frieza temporarily. Seizing the opportunity, Krillin urges Vegeta to attack, but Vegeta is preoccupied observing Dende's healing abilities. Vegeta expresses anger anger at not being informed about Dende's powers, and Krillin explains that they only discovered it recently, expressing that had they known about it sooner, they'd have utilized it to heal Goku. Gohan, now healed, joins Vegeta and Krillin in the air and powers up. Vegeta marvels at the increase in Gohan's power due to his Saiyan blood, and states that luck may finally be in their favor. Meanwhile, Frieza is furious that both Gohan and Krillin have been healed, and suddenly, everyone's attention is drawn to a new arrival, the Namekian, Piccolo. Witnessing Piccolo's arrival, Gohan expresses relief, while Piccolo identifies Frieza as the adversary. Vegeta recognizes Piccolo as one of the foes he vanquished on Earth, connecting the dots that the Earthlings used the wishes on the Dragon Balls to revive Piccolo and bring him to Namek. Piccolo asserts that once he deals with Frieza, Vegeta is next, but Vegeta dismisses the idea, asserting that Piccolo's threats are nothing but jokes. Frieza, surprised by the surviving Namekian, acknowledges Piccolo's distinctiveness, but believes he's still no match for his might. Meanwhile, Goku is puzzled about the unfamiliar key and questions if it's really Piccolo. He also notices Gohan's restored power and remains confused on what's going on. Declaring his intent to eliminate Frieza alone, Piccolo instructs the others not to intervene. Dende, recognizing Piccolo as the person mentioned before, is greeted by the Namekian thanks to Nail's memories and tells him to flee to safety. Piccolo and Frieza land, exchanging intense glares. Although Krillin frets about Piccolo underestimating Frieza, Vegeta advises letting him face the reality soon. Gohan, however, remains optimistic about Piccolo's chances. Taking the initiative, Piccolo charges at Frieza, delivering a powerful punch to his face, which sends Frieza flying. Pursuing him, Piccolo readies himself to slam Frieza into the ground, but Frieza deftly evades and retaliates with a kick to Piccolo's face. Recovering swiftly, Piccolo propels himself off the ground, executing a headbutt to Frieza's chin. In response, Frieza uses his tail to strike Piccolo away and releases a blast towards him. Undeterred, Piccolo deflects the attack, leaving Frieza astonished. Piccolo retaliates with a massive blast of his own, leaving Frieza visibly damaged and infuriated, eliciting shocked reactions from the onlookers. Krillin admires Piccolo's ability to hold his own against Frieza, and Vegeta contends that Piccolo's strength surpasses the tyrant's power. Gohan expresses his relief at Piccolo's formidable prowess, while Vegeta, bewildered, questions how Piccolo achieved such strength since their last encounter on Earth. Frieza gracefully lands in front of Piccolo, wearing a smirk. In a swift move, Frieza elbows Piccolo in the face, sending him crashing to the ground. Attempting to strike Piccolo with punches, Frieza finds Piccolo soaring into the air, prompting Frieza to follow suit. As Frieza positions himself above Piccolo, he forcefully drives Piccolo back into the ground, resulting in a powerful explosion. Touching down, Frieza revels in laughter as Piccolo, battered but determined, rises once more. Vegeta, in disbelief, regrets intending to challenge Frieza, and Piccolo, shredding his cloak and turban, decides it's time for him to fight seriously. Krillin is surprised at the weight Piccolo carried all along, and infuriated, Piccolo gears up for a serious confrontation. However, Frieza contends that he too has yet to reveal his true strength. Frieza clarifies that he never showed Piccolo his transformations, and aims to instill the same terror and despair that Vegeta and the others experienced. Explaining that each transformation significantly boosts his power, Frieza reveals that he has 2 more transformations to come, sending shockwaves through everyone present. With an air of pride, Frieza announces his intent to showcase his next transformation, framing it as an honor for his foes to witness. Frieza initiates a power-up that causes spikes to protrude from his back, shoulders to expand, and head to elongate. The transformation ends with Frieza, now in an arguably bigger form, appearing more like a demon this time. Apologizing for the delay, Frieza proposes the start of the second round of their confrontation. While Krillin perceives minimal external changes, Vegeta insists that Frieza has undergone a complete transformation. Vegeta also states that somehow, Frieza is able to exercise more control over his power, and Gohan observes that all the damage previously inflicted by Piccolo has mysteriously vanished. Meanwhile, Goku senses the intensified strength of Frieza's ki and contemplates whether he could emerge victorious once healed. Frieza then mocks Piccolo as he seemed so confident in his speed before and says he wants to see it in action. Seizing the opportunity, Frieza charges at Piccolo, prompting the Namekian to ascend into the air. However, Frieza effortlessly surpasses Piccolo, debunking the notion that he possesses superior speed. Initiating a rapid barrage of shots, Frieza targets various parts of Piccolo's body, including the knee, head, and chest. Concerned for Piccolo's well-being, Gohan prepares to intervene, and as Krillin charges in after him, Vegeta restrains Krillin Krillin, asserting the futility of his interference. Instead, Vegeta instructs Krillin to blast him to the brink of death, contemplating the potential transformation into a Super Saiyan with one more recovery. As Frieza persists in firing shots at Piccolo, Gohan intervenes with a flying kick. Evading the attack, Frieza is taken by surprise as Gohan ascends above him, launching a powerful blast downward. The blast significantly impacts Frieza, who retaliates by redirecting it toward Gohan. Swiftly reacting, Piccolo deflects the blast, saving Gohan's life. Frieza, perplexed by the drastic increase in Gohan's power, speculates he must be a Saiyan and contemplates whose son he might be. While Piccolo recognizes Gohan's strength, stating he's proud of him for his growth as a fighter, Gohan himself admits he's still no match for Frieza. Meanwhile, Frieza states Gohan couldn't be the son of Vegeta or Nappa and speculates he must be the son of Raditz. As Frieza expresses his intent to eliminate all with Saiyan blood, he remains skeptical of the Super Saiyan legend, sensing an unsettling power within Gohan and Vegeta. At the same time, Vegeta urges Krillin to hasten the process of bringing him to the brink of death, emphasizing the significance of near-death recoveries for Saiyan strength enhancement. Despite Krillin's initial hesitation and mention of Goku's imminent restoration, Vegeta insists the urgency of the situation. Suddenly, Frieza, announcing his impending transformation once more, motivates Krillin to comply. Closing his eyes and screaming, Krillin unleashes a powerful blast through Vegeta's chest, who, satisfied with the result, plummets to the ground. As Frieza undergoes his final transformation, the anticipation for the revelation of his true form intensifies. Gohan is puzzled by Krillin's attack on Vegeta, while Piccolo urges them to flee. Assisting Piccolo in escaping, Gohan suggests that Dende can heal his injuries. Meanwhile, Dende, still harboring resentment toward Vegeta for the atrocities committed against his people, refuses to heal him. Despite Vegeta's weak plea for help, Dende remains resolute and departs, leaving Vegeta on the ground. Krillin and Gohan set out to find Dende, with Krillin explaining to Gohan the Saiyan's significant power-ups through near-death recoveries. Spotting Dende heading to the opposite direction and realizing Vegeta remains unhealed, the two pursue him. At the same time, Frieza continues his power-up, observing as Dende heals Piccolo, revealing the source of the group's recovery method. Piccolo inquires if he possesses the same ability, but Dende clarifies that his fighting-type nature prevents him from doing so. Krillin pleads with Dende to heal Vegeta, but Dende hesitates due to Vegeta's resemblance to Frieza. Piccolo then implores Dende, acknowledging his inability to defeat Frieza in his current state. Just then, Frieza completes his transformation, and the group acknowledge his extreme power boost. Gohan's final plea to Dende motivates him to heal Vegeta, and as the young Namekian goes to do so, Frieza's final form begins to come into view. Dende heals Vegeta, and the Saiyan kicks him aside, upset that he didn't heal him sooner. However, Vegeta insists that he's finally become a Super Saiyan and relishes the chance to battle Frieza. As the smoke dissipates, Frieza appears in a smaller and sleeker form. Though Krillin underestimates the threat based on Frieza's features, Piccolo warns against judging him solely by outward appearances. Suddenly, Frieza unleashes a small blast, bypassing Piccolo, Krillin, Gohan, and even Vegeta, creating an explosion. When they turn around, they discover Dende lying lifeless. Gohan and Piccolo express shock at the sudden turn of events, and Frieza concludes that the death of Dende means no more revivals for his enemies. Gohan can't believe Dende's been killed, as Piccolo realizes Frieza must have seen Dende healing them. At Frieza's spaceship, Goku notices someone died, and that Frieza's gotten even stronger. Frieza then suddenly disappears and reappears right next to Piccolo, Gohan, and Krillin, reminding them of his promise to show them a nightmare worse than hell. Gohan charges in and punches at Frieza. Krillin kicks at him, and Piccolo swipes at him, but Frieza easily dodges them all. Gohan and Krillin keep attempting punches and kicks, as Piccolo takes into the air and fires a blast down, but Frieza jumps over it. Krillin and Gohan then fire blasts up at him, but Frieza disappears. Vegeta yells over that Frieza's behind them, and Frieza shoots 2 finger blasts at Gohan, nearly killing him, but Vegeta kicks Gohan out of the line of fire. There's suddenly a huge explosion as the blast hits a nearby island. The group can't believe what they're seeing, with Krillin saying once again he couldn't see Frieza's movements or attack before the detonation. Piccolo, however, thinks to himself that Vegeta could see through the attack, and wonders how he powered up so much. Gohan thanks Vegeta for saving him, but Vegeta dismisses his gratitude, stating he just wanted to show off his new abilities. Piccolo questions if he thinks he can beat Frieza, and Vegeta confirms. Vegeta tells the group that they're in the way and should get back and watch, as Frieza Frieza tells the Saiyan that his self-confidence must be nothing more than delusion. Vegeta then tells Frieza to laugh all he likes, but asserts that he's finally become a Super Saiyan. Frieza pauses for a moment, but laughs and mocks Vegeta as usual. The others wonder about this Super Saiyan stuff as Vegeta flies at Frieza, exclaiming that Kakarot won't even get a turn. Frieza suddenly disappears as Vegeta strikes him, and from a distance away, Frieza laughs and taunts Vegeta for not being able to keep up with him, debunking the illusion of achieving Super Saiyan status. Vegeta starts to get angry and screams that he is a Super Saiyan, following up with a huge blast down at Frieza. Piccolo yells at Vegeta, questioning if he means to destroy the planet, but Frieza kicks the blast away into the air, much to Vegeta's shock. Piccolo is also amazed at Frieza's effortless deflection, and Krillin asserts Vegeta had put his full power into that attack. As Frieza prepares his assault on Vegeta, the Saiyan Prince, for the first time in his life, experiences genuine fear and sheds tears at his inability to stand up to Frieza as he loses the will to fight. Frieza flies up and headbutts Vegeta, then kicks him down to the ground. Frieza touches down and picks Vegeta up with his tail around his neck, then begins punching Vegeta in the back. Frieza looks over at the others and tells them they're free to come and help him whenever they like, and as he continues to pummel Vegeta, the trio stand helpless, unable to move themselves to intervene. Meanwhile, Goku notices Vegeta's ki is rapidly decreasing, and he can't believe how strong Frieza has become. Suddenly, the medical machine beeps, indicating Goku's done healing, and he jumps straight through the ceiling onto the roof on Frieza's ship, marveling at his own power. Goku notes he's gotten a lot stronger, but recognizing the urgency of the situation, readies himself for battle and yells for the others to hold on just a little longer. Goku senses that everyone is nearby, and meanwhile, Frieza continues beating Vegeta and finally tosses him into a nearby mountain. Vegeta lies on the ground, covered in rubble. Frieza states how bored he is that Vegeta didn't put up more of a fight and says it's finally time to finish him off. At the same time, Goku then zooms off and arrives just as Frieza is about to land the killing blow. Goku walks past Piccolo, noting that he really was the one with the mysterious huge ki. He also walks past Krillin and Gohan, apologizing for being so late. The two wonder if this is really Goku, as his power feels a lot different than before. Goku then greets Frieza and tells him he's a lot smaller than he thought he'd be. Frieza sees Goku merely as scum, but believes he's seen him somewhere before. Vegeta mumbles Kakarot, noticing he's shown up, and Frieza notes that's a Saiyan name. He suddenly remembers that Goku looks just like the Saiyan who opposed him to the very end when he destroyed planet Vegeta, but it remains unknown to both Frieza and Goku that the Saiyan was none other than Goku's father, Bardock. Vegeta takes note of Goku's newfound power, thinking that once again he's overcome his previous limitations. This prompts him to believe that Goku is in fact a Super Saiyan. Frieza states that he can't allow any Saiyans to live and charges at Goku, but Goku simply kicks him in the face and sends him flying. Frieza catches himself and lands, then laughs. He points his finger at Goku to fire a finger beam again, and the others quickly scatter and tell Goku to do the same. Frieza unleashes a bunch of finger beams, but Goku stands still and swats them all away with one hand. Frieza can't believe this, and Vegeta starts to laugh, stating that Kakarot is definitely the thing that Frieza fears the most, a Super Saiyan. Frieza's eyes widen, and the Saiyan Prince goes on to say that Frieza will finally get what he deserves. However, Frieza suddenly shoots Vegeta through the heart, shocking everyone as he reminds Vegeta that he despises unfunny jokes. Goku berates Frieza, mentioning that Vegeta could barely move, so finishing him off was unnecessary. Frieza dismisses Vegeta's obsession with the Super Saiyan and expresses his disdain for rambling individuals. Vegeta then turns his attention to Goku, telling him that mercy won't get him anywhere with Frieza, and had he were to truly harden his heart, he'd surely become a Super Saiyan. Goku, however, rejects the idea of being heartless like Vegeta and admits he doesn't understand much about the Super Saiyan concept anyway. Vegeta attempts to explain, but Goku urges him to stop talking to avoid a quicker death. Vegeta, however, continues and tells Goku of his planet's fate long ago, and how the death of their race wasn't because of a giant meteor, but because of Frieza. He explains that despite the Saiyan race serving him loyally for years, following every last one of his commands, Frieza murdered them all, including Goku's parents and Vegeta's father. He goes on to say that Frieza was afraid of a Super Saiyan rising among their race, but Frieza dismisses the notion. With his final breath, Vegeta cries, begging Goku to avenge their race, as Frieza must die by a Saiyan's hands. Vegeta then succumbs to his injury and passes away as Frieza mocks him one last time. Goku reflects on the gravity of Vegeta's plea and decides to bury him, acknowledging the regret Vegeta felt for the fallen Saiyans. Goku states that Vegeta wasn't just upset for the downfall of his race though, but the fact that he was Frieza's puppet for so long. Goku says he may not have liked Vegeta, but acknowledges his Saiyan pride. Goku then turns to Frieza and declares that on behalf of the Saiyans he's killed, as well as the people of Namek, he'll be sure to defeat him. Frieza dismisses Goku's words as foolish, and the two ready themselves for battle, as Piccolo instructs Gohan and Krillin to move, exclaiming they'd only get in the way. Gohan wishes his dad good luck and flies away, noting the serious gaze on his father's face. The stage is set, and Goku suddenly charges at Frieza, who blocks his punch. They exchange blows, with Goku dodging Frieza's attacks and vice versa. Shortly after, Goku is pushed through a mountain by one of Frieza's blasts and manages to deflect it, expressing pain in his hands as Frieza stands looking irritated. On King Kai's planet, Yamcha inquires about the situation on planet Namek. King Kai reveals that Vegeta has just been killed by Frieza, leaving Yamcha and Tien in disbelief. Tien inquires about Goku, and King Kai informs him that Goku has just initiated the fight. Although Yamcha becomes upset, King Kai anticipates an exciting match. He mentions the mysterious nature of Saiyans, particularly Goku, and notes that Goku's strength seems boundless, contrasting with his time training on King Kai's planet. Meanwhile, Frieza and Goku face each other. Frieza acknowledges Goku's strength, expressing surprise that someone stronger than Captain Ginyu exists. However, Frieza remains unconcerned, and Goku expresses they should continue. Frieza then triggers an explosive shockwave, causing the mountain Goku is on to erupt. Goku reappears above Frieza in midair, announcing his counterattack. He propels Frieza downward with his own shockwave, but there's no splash when Frieza hits the water. Frieza suddenly re-emerges behind Goku, kicking him down into the water. Frieza urges Goku to resurface quickly, but Goku, submerged, contemplates the situation. He thinks to himself how strong Frieza is, but realizes that Frieza's unable to sense his opponent's energy and decides to play on his weakness. Krillin wonders why Goku hasn't resurfaced, but Gohan reassures them, noting that Goku's ki hasn't decreased at all. Goku releases two small Kamehameha balls and swims away from them, as Frieza, above water, waits for the Saiyan to make his move. Goku maneuvers one of the blasts to shoot towards Frieza from underwater. Frieza, realizing it's not Goku, evades both attacks. However, Goku descends from above with a kick, sending Frieza crashing into an island. Goku initially believes the attack to be a success, but Frieza emerges from the rubble, cracking his neck and surprising Goku as he doesn't appear to be hurt at all. Frieza acknowledges that Goku is the first person aside from his parents to ever damage his pride. He reflects on how excited he is for the first time since birth and contemplates how he should deal with Goku. Goku, concerned that Frieza was unaffected by his attack, watches as Frieza telekinetically moves rocks and sends them toward him. Annoyed by Frieza's use of supernatural powers, Goku avoids and breaks the rocks. The attacks stop, but suddenly, Frieza appears above Goku, trapping him in a large energy ball and sending him crashing down into an island, causing a massive explosion. When the smoke clears, the entire island has been obliterated. Krillin and Piccolo are amazed at how much Frieza held back, while Piccolo remarks that Frieza is still just playing around and has the power to destroy the planet if he wishes. Despite Gohan's worry for his father, Piccolo reassures him that Goku isn't taking the battle seriously either. He then directs the group's attention behind them, and Goku lands, narrowly escaping the destruction. He then flies back over, surprising Frieza with his presence. Goku casually remarks that Frieza should be careful with people's planets, and Krillin wonders how Goku managed to avoid the detonation. Piccolo explains that he escaped the paralysis with super speed at the same instant as the explosion, and considers both Goku and Frieza as freaks of nature. Frieza tells Goku that this was just a warm-up and that he'll be fighting seriously now, and Goku reassures him not to worry, since it was the same for him. Frieza questions whether Goku prefers a battle in mid-air or on the ground, and Goku chooses the ground. Frieza selects an island for their confrontation, and they fly over to it. Goku jokingly appreciates this added service, casually removing his gear, and wonders if Frieza is just confident he'll win. Frieza jokingly claims to be kind and decides to offer Goku one more significant service and says he won't use either of his hands. Goku finds this gesture generous as he stretches and offers to make the first move. Frieza gives Goku the freedom to choose, and the Saiyan charges at Frieza, throwing punches, but Frieza skillfully evades and counterattacks with a kick. Goku dodges subsequent kicks and retaliates with a series of his own, but Frieza maneuvers and strikes Goku with his tail, sending him flying. However, Goku swiftly recovers, grabs Frieza by the tail, and swings him around before letting go, sending Frieza crashing into a mountain. Emerging from the rubble, Frieza attempts to strike Goku, but Goku adeptly blocks every attack and narrowly lands a punch on Frieza's face. Goku successfully blocks a kick, and Frieza tries to defend against Goku's additional kicks. Goku manages to block another kick until Frieza wraps his tail around Goku's neck. Things begin to look bleak, but Goku responds by biting Frieza's tail and follows up with a barrage of kicks and punches. Eventually, feeling a bit overwhelmed, Frieza punches Goku in the face. Rising to his feet, Goku reminds Frieza of his earlier promise not to use his hands, and Frieza acknowledges the end of the service period. Goku then decides to offer Frieza some advice as a service, stating he puts too much confidence in his own strength and leaves himself wide open. Frieza acknowledges Goku's strength, but expresses weariness with the ongoing fight. Before concluding the battle, Frieza proposes that Goku work under him, recognizing Goku's potential as a formidable force greater than even Captain Ginyu. Goku, however, dismisses the offer, questioning Frieza's belief that he would even accept. Frieza considers the Saiyans foolish and states that the only option remaining for Goku then is death. Goku asserts that it won't be easy, and Frieza contemplates that Goku is quite self-confident. Frieza realizes that, despite Goku's serious fighting, he still has considerable power left. Frieza then speculates that if he were to use 50% of his maximum power, he could turn Goku into space dust. Goku thinks Frieza is exaggerating, and Frieza bids Goku a farewell, stating it's been a long time since he's had a good exercise. Over in the distance, Piccolo observes that both Goku and Frieza are waiting for the right moment to attack, and as Gohan questions if his dad can win, Piccolo states that the strength of both he and Frieza are far beyond their comprehension. The two opponents stare each other down, and Goku suddenly recognizes that Frieza isn't bluffing. Frieza then charges at Goku, delivering a series of swift attacks, including elbowing him in the face, executing a swift kick, grabbing Goku's neck with his tail, elbowing him in the stomach, and finally dropping him. Goku, clutching his stomach, attempts to kick Frieza, but Frieza effortlessly evades. Goku charges after him utilizing the Kaioken, but Frieza kicks him in the face, sending him flying. When Goku gets back on his feet, Frieza notes his heavy breathing, marveling at his resilience. Piccolo believes the difference in their hidden strengths is too vast, and meanwhile, King Kai assumes it's all over, considering Frieza's overwhelming strength. Yamcha questions if Goku is still wearing his heavy clothing, but King Kai reveals that Goku has been in regular clothes the entire time. Tien assures the others that there's nothing to worry about though, as Goku still has the Kaioken and should be able to multiply its power by 10. Yamcha agrees, but King Kai interjects with unfortunate news, as Goku's already been using the Kaioken. Frieza delivers a powerful elbow to Goku's face, propelling him through the air. Pursuing him, Frieza observes as Goku regains control mid-air and heads toward a nearby mountain. Frieza halts, swiftly charging up his index and middle fingers. With a sweeping motion, he cuts through the mountain Goku is standing on, along with a large portion of the planet, leaving Goku astonished. Frieza reiterates his ability to destroy the entire planet if he wanted, revealing his responsibility for annihilating planet Vegeta. Goku then grows concerned about his chances of victory, stating that he doesn't think he can win. Krillin notices Frieza's ability to slice through the planet and believes Goku might be strategizing. Piccolo, however, clarifies that Goku isn't formulating a plan, but is simply realizing that Frieza's true strength surpasses their previous estimations. Frieza expresses his growing impatience and declares his intention to conclude the battle soon. Meanwhile, on King Kai's planet, Tien is shocked to learn that Goku is already using the ×10 Kaioken and fears for Goku's fate. King Kai adds that Frieza is only utilizing half of his true strength as well, and reflects on his earlier warning to Goku to stay away from Frieza no matter what. Back on Namek, Goku contemplates pushing his limits further with a ×20 Kaioken. Aware of the strain on his body, Goku reasons that if Frieza is only at 50%, he's at a loss anyway. Taking the risk, Goku unleashes a tremendous surge of power, surprising Frieza. Goku charges at Frieza and lands a punch on his face, sending him flying. Goku follows in pursuit, and preparing a Kamehameha, Goku catches up to Frieza, but Frieza deftly dodges his attack. Goku finds himself in midair and releases the full force Kamehameha, but Frieza retaliates by stopping it with his hand, thus creating a massive explosion of light. When the smoke clears, Goku observes, and Frieza, though bruised, is not yet defeated. Goku is astonished that Frieza wasn't affected and contemplates the possibility that Frieza is indeed telling the truth about only using half of his power. Meanwhile, Bulma speculates about the ground shaking, fearing the worst for Gohan and the others. Back on the battlefield, Krillin expresses disbelief at the minimal damage inflicted by Goku's powerful Kamehameha. Gohan notes that Goku's energy is rapidly decreasing, and Piccolo believes it's the end, recalling King Kai's warning to stay away from Frieza. Frieza looks down at the exhausted Goku, realizing the close call with the attack. Examining his scratched up body, Frieza becomes enraged and lands near Goku. Yelling that the attack actually hurt him, Frieza flies at Goku, headbutting him and sending him flying. Frieza walks over, kicking Goku into the air and then knocking him back to the ground. Approaching Goku, Frieza questions the disappearance of his strength, suggesting that Goku may have depleted all of his power. Goku privately acknowledges the depletion of his power and the futility of the ×20 Kaioken. His thoughts are interrupted though, as Frieza swipes his hand, creating a massive crater between them. Gohan expresses his desire to help his father, but Piccolo reassures him that Goku is planning something. Frieza then wears a surprised expression as Goku raises his hands into the air. Krillin explains to Piccolo that it's the Spirit Bomb, an attack Goku learned from King Kai that gathers all energy from living things to create a powerful energy ball. Piccolo expresses frustration at King Kai's lack of information while training with him, and Gohan and Krillin points out that there isn't much life on Namek, but it's their only option. Goku expresses his concern for Namek, as an attack as powerful as the Spirit Bomb could crush the planet itself. However, he decides he has no other choice, as if Frieza defeats him, the entire universe will be in trouble. Goku then pleads for not just Namek, but all nearby planets to lend him their energy, and Frieza wonders about Goku's actions as the trio notice the enormous Spirit Bomb forming in the sky. Krillin marvels at the colossal size of the Spirit Bomb, estimating its diameter to be 50 meters. Krillin deduces that Goku must be gathering energy from other planets to make it that enormous, and Piccolo questions why Goku hasn't launched it yet. Krillin speculates that Goku believes he needs much more energy to defeat Frieza, as if he launches the Spirit Bomb now, it won't be enough. Frieza inquires if Goku is planning something or merely signaling surrender with his raised hands. Goku, thinking about the Spirit Bomb's weakness and the time that it takes to gather energy, pleads for his plan not to be revealed a little longer. Frieza demands to know how long Goku plans to continue this, but Goku brushes it off with a laugh. In frustration, Frieza kicks Goku in the face, sending him flying. Krillin assumes Frieza's figured out Goku's plan, but Piccolo correctly deduces that he doesn't know yet. Piccolo then tells Gohan and Krillin to give him what's left of their energy, urging them to hurry up. As Goku rises to his feet, he jokingly tells Frieza not to be in a rush to end things, but the tyrant blows Goku into the water with a shockwave. Krillin and Gohan contribute some of their energy to Piccolo, being told to take their focus off of the battlefield for now, as Goku resurfaces at the shore. Frieza stands over Goku, expressing his lack of understanding of the Saiyan thought process. He declares his desire to end the fight, destroy the planet, and kill Gohan shortly after Goku, thus eliminating what remains of the Saiyan race. As he dismisses the Super Saiyan as a myth and aims his final attack at Goku, Frieza notices a reflection in the water behind the Saiyan. Looking up, he spots a massive ball of energy in the sky, realizing Goku had been creating it this entire time. Just then, Piccolo decides to jump in, instructing Krillin and Gohan to stay put while he deals with the situation. Goku curses the discovery of the Spirit Bomb as Frieza criticizes him for his last resort being in vain. Goku attempts to punch Frieza, but Frieza easily catches his fist. As the tyrant prepares to finish Goku, Piccolo surprises him with a kick to the back of the head, sending Frieza plummeting into the sea. Piccolo urges Goku to complete the Spirit Bomb as fast as he can, having used all his remaining power in the surprise attack. Frieza then emerges from the water, infuriated at the Namekians' interference. Piccolo inquires if Goku is finished yet, and Goku responds that he needs just a little more time. Frieza, now infuriated, suddenly gets blasted by Krillin and Gohan, who use the last remnants of their energy. Frieza expresses disbelief that there are still more opponents left, but declares that it all ends now. Goku announces that the attack is finally ready, just as Frieza begins creating a ball of energy to destroy Namek along with everyone else. On Piccolo's command, Goku launches the massive spirit bomb, and it descends with overwhelming size. Frieza attempts to resist with his strength alone, but the sheer magnitude of the spirit bomb forces him down into the ground, creating a massive explosion that engulfs a portion of Namek. At the same time, King Kai notices the events and ecstatically dances, stating that Frieza has finally been defeated. Back on Namek, the massive hole created by the spirit bomb, surrounded by nothing but ocean, witnesses water cascading into its depths. Gohan and Krillin emerge from the ocean, climbing onto a rock, and anxiously wonder about the whereabouts of Goku and Piccolo. Gohan speculates if Goku and Piccolo were engulfed along with Frieza since he can't sense their ki, but Krillin explains they can't feel them because they're too weak from giving their energy. Just then, Gohan notices something on another nearby island, Piccolo emerging from the water with Goku. Excited, Krillin and Gohan fly over to reunite with them, but their depleted ki limits their speed. The group then celebrate together, overjoyed that everyone's okay. The joyous reunion is interrupted when Goku suggests they could be home in 5 days using the spaceship he arrived in, and suddenly, Krillin panics, realizing they forgot about Bulma. Goku teases him, thinking Frieza had appeared again, and Krillin jokes that Bulma is scarier than Frieza when she's mad. Amid their laughter, Piccolo expresses gratitude that the Grand Elder and planet Namek can finally find peace, and suddenly, Krillin, surprised at how Piccolo knows about the Grand Elder, turns fearful. Much to everyone's shock, Frieza, battered and with one eye closed, survived the spirit bomb and sits perched on a nearby cliff. A blast suddenly shoots through Piccolo's chest, rendering him immobile, and Gohan panics while Goku grows angry. Frieza mocks the group's belief in his defeat, although for a second there, he himself thought he wouldn't make it either. Realizing what's to come, Goku tells Gohan and Krillin to escape Namek on his ship, but the two hesitate to leave him. Frieza, however, has no intention of letting any of the group escape, as he grabs a hold of Krillin telekinetically and lifts him up into the air. Goku urgently begs Frieza to stop, but the tyrant sadistically clenches his hand and completely disintegrates Krillin, resulting in a massive explosion. As Goku and Gohan stand in awe at the unfolding events, Frieza laughs and considers Gohan as his next target. Goku's anger then intensifies as he exclaims he won't let Frieza get away with killing his best friend. The Saiyan's anger peaks as his hair suddenly becomes blonde and his entire body glows, surprising both Gohan and Frieza. Goku instructs Gohan to take the barely alive Piccolo back to Earth, though Gohan hesitates, prompting Goku to sternly command him to leave before he completely loses control. Following Goku's orders, Gohan prepares to leave with Piccolo, leaving a furious Goku to face Frieza alone. Frieza expresses surprise at Goku's different form, questioning the Saiyan's ability to transform beyond the Great Ape. Goku urgently instructs Gohan to hasten Piccolo's departure, emphasizing that if Piccolo dies, Kami will also perish. He assures Gohan that he'll return to Earth later, but when his son questions how, Goku snaps and tells him to leave. Gohan, carrying Piccolo over his shoulders, flies away and expresses gratitude to his father for saving them, hoping to see him back home safe and sound. As Frieza prepares to blow the two out of the sky, Goku instantly appears in front of the tyrant, grabbing his wrist. Goku tells Frieza he's getting sick of him, accusing the tyrant of relentlessly targeting innocent lives, highlighting even Krillin's death and innocence. Frieza breaks free and steps back, bewildered by Goku's newfound power. Meanwhile, Gohan, comprehending the situation, acknowledges Vegeta's earlier claim about his father achieving the status of a Super Saiyan. Goku, now infuriated, flies toward Frieza, delivering a powerful punch to his face, sending him flying. Goku follows, relentlessly pummeling Frieza into the ground. Despite emerging from the rubble, Frieza regains his composure in midair, questioning if the Saiyans were truly innocent. Goku confirms that they weren't, which is why they perished, and Frieza confidently states that he was the reason for their demise. Goku tells Frieza that it's his turn to join those he's killed, and Frieza laughs off Goku's determination, asserting that even as as a Super Saiyan, victory is impossible. Frieza then launches a series of powerful blasts, but when the smoke clears, Goku remains unscathed, his clothes slightly more tattered. With a stern expression, Goku declares that forgiveness is out of the question, hitting Frieza with a powerful shockwave. As Frieza struggles to catch his breath, Goku smirks confidently. Frieza is surprised as Goku swiftly maneuvers, delivering an elbow to his face, followed by an uppercut and a headbutt. Despite Frieza's attempts to retaliate with kicks and punches, Goku adeptly blocks each move. Frustrated, Frieza resorts to shooting a finger blast, but Goku effortlessly dodges it, shocking Frieza. Frieza attempts additional blasts, but Goku continues to evade. Enraged, Frieza expresses his frustration, wishing at least one blast would hit him. In response, Goku deliberately stops moving and tells Frieza to take his best shot, angering the villain. Frieza shoots another blast and hits Goku on the chin, but he leans forward with a smirk, taunting Frieza for failing to destroy him. In a moment of realization, Frieza questions Goku's identity, and Goku proudly declares himself as a Saiyan who came from Earth, a warrior of legend, possessing a pure heart and awakened by rage, the one and only Super Saiyan. Frieza, shocked, acknowledges the truth and contemplates the significance of the legend, stating it's no wonder Vegeta couldn't become a Super Saiyan himself. Infuriated by the prospect of being defeated by a Saiyan, Frieza curses the situation, and Goku declares the end to Frieza's reign of terror. Meanwhile, Gohan arrives at Goku's spaceship, placing the unconscious Piccolo inside before embarking on a mission to find Bulma. Back on the battlefield, Goku initiates a Kamehameha, while Frieza expresses his refusal to be defeated by a Saiyan, stating he'd rather die by his own hand. Frieza, however, declares that Goku will be the one to die, and desperate, decides to destroy the planet himself, creating an energy ball and launching it down, declaring his intent to exterminate the entire planet. The energy sphere collides with the planet, resulting in a resounding explosion. King Kai observes the catastrophic impact and acknowledges son Goku's commendable efforts, noting that Goku could have triumphed in a one-on-one battle. However, Frieza's decision to destroy planet Namek indicated his intent to survive its destruction. King Kai asserts that planet Namek is now lost, along with all who remained on it except Frieza. Suddenly, a voice interrupts, identifying himself as Kami, the god of Earth. King Kai responds despondently, acknowledging the communication. Kami, conveying a message of hope, informs King Kai that Mr. Popo is gathering all the Earth's Dragon Balls to revive those at King Kai's place. The Kai, initially disheartened, then becomes elated upon realizing that Kami's survival implies Piccolo's survival, and that planet Namek is still intact. Goku and Frieza hover over a colossal hole in the planet, sparks emanating from its depths. Frieza, recognizing his miscalculation and not using enough power, jests about Goku narrowly avoiding death. He then reveals the impending cataclysmic explosion that will reduce planet Namek to space dust in about 5 minutes. In the face of this revelation, Goku remains determined, asserting that 5 minutes is more than enough time to defeat Frieza, rescue his friends, and escape to Earth on his spaceship. However, Frieza counters, claiming his hope is far greater than Goku's, as he's about to unveil his full power for the first time. Goku speculates that Frieza had never used his full power before due to its strain on his body, and refuses to let him stall for time. Despite the urgency though, Frieza launches a shockwave, sending Goku plummeting into the water. Goku emerges relatively unharmed, though his shirt now bears the scars of battle. Undeterred, Frieza declares that he's only used 70% of his power and prepares to unleash his long-awaited 100%. As Goku charges in, Frieza believes he'll eliminate Goku with his full power in no more than 30 seconds. Frieza then starts bulking up, and Goku halts, mentioning that Frieza's ki is approaching fullness, and soon his 100% power will manifest. Meanwhile, King Kai insists that now is the opportunity for Goku to attack Frieza while he's powering up, and questions if Goku can hear him since he isn't taking any action. Goku acknowledges that he hears, but he doesn't think he'll ever get another chance like this. The chance to witness the strongest opponent in the universe at full power. King King Kai is shocked at Goku's mindset, emphasizing that this isn't a game, but Goku explodes, exclaiming that he will avenge Krillin's death, as he died twice already and he can never be brought back to life with the Dragon Balls ever again. Even so, King Kai urges Goku not to wait for Frieza to reach his full power and considers the well-being of Gohan and the others. Goku reassures King Kai that they'll be fine, and at the same time, Frieza's power reaches 85%, then 90%. Goku tells Frieza he'll allow him to reach his full power and defeat him at his best, and he speculates that Frieza also desired to witness it for himself. The others on King Kai's planet wonder what's going on, and the Kai remarks that Goku is no longer himself, but a warrior consumed by rage. Elsewhere, Gohan flies through the air, wondering about the planet's situation and increasing intensity of Frieza's ki. He arrives at Bulma's location just in time to rescue her from a massive boulder, and Bulma complains about being left there alone and wonders what's going on. Gohan insists on explaining everything later, emphasizing the need to hurry, and Bulma questions their destination. Meanwhile, Frieza completes his power-up, apologizing for the delay. Goku, however, realizes that their time is running out and says they need to hurry and finish the battle. At the same time, Kami calls King Kai again and relays information from Mr. Popo that all Dragon Balls have been found. Kami states that Tien and Yamcha will be brought back to life immediately, but there's nothing more that can be done for Chaozu. Chaozu becomes sad, but Tien reassures him that he'll stay behind as well. Suddenly, King Kai interrupts, asking if the Dragon Balls can revive two people at once. Upon confirmation, assuming the ones who died share a common circumstance, the Kai wonders if Earth's Dragon Balls can grant wishes on a faraway world. Kami affirms that it's possible and wonders if King Kai intends to resurrect everyone in the universe killed by Vegeta. However, the Kai proposes a different wish, to return to life those killed by Frieza and his men. He explains the urgency and the possibility of reviving the Grand Elder on Namek. This would in turn revive Porunga, as one of his wishes were unused, so if the Elder is revived, one wish remains. King Kai states they could use Porunga's wish to teleport everyone on planet Namek to Earth except Frieza, and Yamcha, Chaozu, and Tien agree to forfeit their revival for a year to go along with the plan. King Kai instructs Kami to hurry as planet Namek is fading away, and meanwhile, Frieza attacks Goku with a series of punches and kicks, claiming it's just a warm-up for his final attack. Goku expresses relief as he thought that was the best Frieza could do, and Frieza, initially angered, smirks and acknowledges the amazing strength of the Super Saiyan. Back on Earth, Mr. Popo has summoned Shenron. Frieza mentions that Namek's lifespan is about 2 to 3 minutes away from its end, and questions Goku on his thoughts. Goku remains silent, and Frieza realizes he must be stalling for Gohan and the others to escape. However, Frieza says it's no use and decides to make Earth his next target after killing Goku. Goku clarifies that he's not stalling though, and that Frieza's going to die right here, right now. Irritated, Frieza declares that he'll silence Goku for good, and readying himself for the next round, Goku privately wishes for Gohan and the others to hurry, as they're still on the planet. Frieza charges at Goku, but then abruptly stops and appears above him, delivering a shockwave hit. Attempting to strike Goku from behind, Frieza finds his arm grabbed, and Goku headbutts him in the face. Goku proceeds to bend Frieza's arm, spins him around, and releases him, sending Frieza flying. Frieza manages to stop himself high up in the air and grows more irate, and Goku readies a Kamehameha to shoot up at Frieza, who begins powering up. As Frieza descends, intent to kill, Goku unleashes his attack. Meanwhile, Shenron tells Mr. Popo to state his wish. Popo requests the revival of those killed by Frieza and his henchmen, and inquires if a wish such as this can be made on a distant planet. Shenron expresses uncertainty, but agrees to try his best, and back on Namek, Goku tells Frieza he'll see him in hell as the Kamehameha approaches his enemy. Frieza is encased in an energy barrier and directly faces the Kamehameha. Goku intensifies the attack, but Frieza manages to maneuver out of the blast trajectory. Descending, Frieza strikes Goku from the side, sending him crashing into an underwater mountain. Meanwhile, on Namek, the Namekians begin to revive, sensing the ground trembling in the darkening sky as they question what's happening. Frieza revels in the success of his assault and believes Goku to be dead, then speculating that the darkened sky must indicate the planet is on the verge of exploding. Back on Earth, Shenron informs Popo that his wish has been granted and bids him a farewell. King Kai is elated that his plan has succeeded and realizes that the Grand Elder and Namekian Shenron must be alive again due to the darkened sky. Kai. Indeed, the Elder wonders why he's alive, and Porunga is also revived. However, King Kai urgently needs to contact them. As the Kai manages to get in contact with the Grand Elder, Frieza continues pondering the fate of the planet until he notices Goku emerging from the water. Irritated, he vows to blow away Goku like he did the Earthling, and Goku retorts in a furious rage, deducing Frieza was mocking Krillin. Meanwhile, King Kai has informed the Grand Elder of the situation, and they decide to contact the nearest Namekian to make their wish. However, Goku interrupts, insisting on changing the wish to teleporting everyone to Earth except Frieza and himself. Although King Kai understands Goku's sentiments, he tries to reason with him, but Goku asserts that he'll resent the Kai forever if he pulls him out of the fight. The nearest Namekian, Dende, who was also revived, receives the message from the Grand Elder, urging him to hurry and promising to explain everything later. Reluctantly agreeing to Goku's wish, King Kai says he won't stop him, and the Elder conveys to Dende that the third wish is to move everyone except Frieza and the Saiyan Goku to Earth. Meanwhile, Gohan and Bulma continue to fly together, puzzled by the changing sky, and Vegeta has been brought back as well, wondering about his unexpected resurrection. As Dende approaches Porunga, who is growing impatient about the final wish, King Kai urges Goku to return alive. Frieza then notices that Porunga is now alive as well, much to his shock. Goku also notices Porunga's presence, prompting Frieza to fly toward him, with Goku in pursuit. Dende begins to express his wish in Namekian, but Frieza interrupts him, shouting his desire for immortality. However, Dende swiftly concludes his wish in Namekian, and Porunga confirms, stating he'll transport everyone to Earth with the exception of Goku and Frieza. Subsequently, Dende, the Namekians, the Grand Elder, Vegeta, Piccolo, Gohan, Bulma, and the Dragon Balls all warp to Earth, much to Frieza's disappointment. Goku informs Frieza that he didn't get his wish granted because he doesn't speak the planet's language, and Frieza turns to him in anger. Frieza recalls killing the child who made the wish, prompting Goku to clarify that Earth's Dragon Balls were used to revive everyone he killed. Subsequently, Namek's Dragon Balls were utilized to wish for the relocation of everyone except Frieza and Goku to Earth. Goku says he's been waiting for this moment, and with approximately 2 minutes remaining, Frieza declares that Goku will meet his end either by Frieza's hands or the planet's explosion. Despite this, Frieza acknowledges Goku's determination to conclude the fight, and both land on the ground, poised for the final round. Meanwhile, on Earth, the Namekian inhabitants find themselves in a field, bewildered by the recent events. Dende heals Piccolo, and the Grand Elder informs everyone that they're on planet Earth. He promises to provide an explanation before his lifespan expires, and back on planet Namek, Frieza elbows Goku, and Goku retaliates with a knee strike. As Namek hurtles toward destruction, Goku skillfully evades a punch from Frieza, countering with a powerful gut punch. Frieza coughs up blood, retaliates with a strike, and sends Goku flying with a kick. Goku regains control, propelling himself off of a mountain, and returns toward Frieza with a kick. However, he overshoots Frieza, executing a back kick that sends Frieza scraping across the ground. Despite Frieza attempting to rise, Goku quickly moves behind him and delivers a series of blows, causing Frieza to scrape along the ground once more. Frieza attempts to catch his breath, and silence between the two falls on the battlefield until Goku declares that he quits. Confused, Frieza questions Goku's statement, prompting Goku to explain that at 100% full power, Frieza's ki is rapidly decreasing, making any further fighting pointless. Goku believes Frieza's pride has suffered enough, having been surpassed by a Saiyan. Goku announces his intention to return to Earth, powers down, and reverts to his normal black-haired form, telling Frieza not to cause trouble anymore and that he never wants to see his face again. Frieza sits in awe, and Goku begins to fly away, but Frieza, infuriated, launches a Destructo Disc-like attack at Goku. Although Goku narrowly evades it, the attack grazes his cheek. Angered, Goku, considering Frieza foolish in blowing his last chance to live, transforms back into a Super Saiyan. Frieza guides the disc to chase Goku through the air, boasting that it can track him anywhere and cut through anything. Goku, unimpressed, flies toward Frieza with the disc in pursuit, and Frieza assumes Goku intends to redirect the attack, dismissing it as a foolish plan. Goku proceeds toward Frieza, but abruptly shoots straight up. Frieza launches the disc after him, seemingly hitting its target, but it turns out only to be an after image. The real Goku emerges behind Frieza as Frieza recalls the disc. Goku criticizes the technique as pathetic, advising Frieza to refine his abilities. Enraged, Frieza retaliates, creating a second disc in his other hand and launches both at Goku. Goku evades and both attacks pursue him. Goku, approaching Frieza again, hears Frieza comment on the repetition of his moves. However, Goku counters by firing a small blast, creating a dense cloud of dust. Frieza narrowly escapes one of the discs, but Goku elbows him back to the ground. As Frieza attempts to stand, the second disc swiftly follows suit. Goku urgently warns Frieza not to stand up, but it's too late. The disc slices through Frieza, cutting through his tail, stomach, and left arm, leaving him in pieces on the ground. Goku remarks that such a miserable end doesn't suit Frieza, but walks away confidently, announcing his return to Earth and leaving Frieza to share the fate of the planet he destroyed. Frieza, however, in pieces on the ground, suddenly pleads for help, causing Goku to stop. King Kai notices Goku's hesitation and yells for him to retreat from Namek, but Frieza's cry for help supersedes this as Goku turns around, questioning how many of the people he killed begged for their lives. Frieza continues to beg, and Goku gives him a small amount of his own energy, enough to allow him to move again, and instructs him to make use of it. Back on Earth, the Grand Elder finishes informing everyone on how they were resurrected and transported to Earth. However, one of the Namekians observes the absence of anyone from Elder Suno's village. Vegeta then deduces it was the village he annihilated, and the wish was only for those killed by Frieza and his men, which excluded him. Some Namekians express anger toward Vegeta until everyone notices large stones falling to the ground. The Grand Elder explains that the Dragon Balls have followed them to Earth, and that his life is nearly over again. He appoints Mori, the elder from Dende's village, as the new Grand Elder, instructing his children to use the Dragon Balls well when they regain their radiance. The Grand Elder then passes away and disappears as Piccolo bids him a farewell, and Dende realizes Piccolo must have united with Nail after hearing this. Bulma then inquires about Goku and Krillin's whereabouts. Gohan explains that Krillin was killed by Frieza, and Goku stayed behind to fight, but should be returning. Piccolo questions Goku's decision to stay and fight Frieza, but Gohan explains that it was Goku's choice on Krillin's behalf. Bulma wonders why Krillin wasn't revived with everyone else, and Gohan clarifies that a person can't be brought back twice, surprising Dende about the Earth's Dragon Ball's limitations. Dende explains that the Namekian Dragon Balls can restore life many times, excluding a natural death, and Gohan grows excited about using the Namekian Dragon Balls to revive Krillin, Chaozu, and everyone else. However, Piccolo expresses anger at Goku's recklessness and believes he has zero chance of winning against Frieza. Gohan disagrees though, confident that his father can win, as he witnessed him become a Super Saiyan, much to Vegeta's surprise. Back on Namek, Frieza can't believe Goku shared his energy with him. Goku suggests Frieza escape since he can survive in space, and be thankful for his life. Frieza claims the planet is about to explode, and states that there's only death waiting for Goku. Realizing there's no time to reach his own spaceship, Goku plans to take Frieza's. Frieza, however, laughs, revealing that Vegeta destroyed his ship, questioning if it can even fly. Goku, however, intends to live and flies off, angering Frieza, who thinks to himself that Goku must die by his hand. Frieza then screams and fires a blast at Goku. Goku notices, turns around, and calls Frieza a fool as he retaliates with a larger blast, completely blowing Frieza away and leaving another massive crater on Namek. A look of regret washes over Goku's face before flying off, as he preferred not to have made such a drastic move. Back on King Kai's planet, the Kai informs Yamcha and the others that Frieza is dead. He explains that Son Goku shared some of his own energy with Frieza, who then used it against him. Reluctantly, Goku had to finish Frieza off and won the battle. Yamcha expresses excitement, and Tien speculates that Goku must now be the strongest in the universe. However, King Kai tempers their enthusiasm, explaining that Goku's momentary strength is irrelevant because planet Namek is on the verge of exploding. With no time to reach his own ship, Goku heads toward Frieza's ship, which is unfortunately broken. Upon reaching the ship, Goku runs through it to the control room. Frustrated, he presses the launch button, but nothing happens. The ship then starts to sink into the ground, prompting Goku to exit to take to the air again. King Kai informs the group that Frieza's spaceship is inoperable, and Goku is unable to use it to escape. Realizing the imminent destruction of planet Namek, Goku screams in frustration, and King Kai averts his gaze as planet Namek explodes, leaving nothing but emptiness in the vacuum of space. Saiyans. King Kai asserts that all hope is lost as Goku didn't make it, and Yamcha mourns, then shortly volunteers to break the news to Bulma and the others. Placing his hand on King Kai's shoulder, Yamcha communicates with Bulma through her mind. Yamcha explains that Goku managed to defeat Frieza, but before he can finish, Bulma interrupts, sharing the news with the others, and Vegeta is shocked at the idea of Kakarot defeating Frieza. Yamcha grabs Bulma's attention again though, revealing that Goku didn't escape before planet Namek's destruction and died in the explosion. In response, Bulma casually relays this news to the others, and Yamcha scolds Bulma for her blunt delivery, urging her to consider Gohan's feelings. Bulma, however, mentions that the Namekian Dragon Balls, which have been transported to Earth, can revive Goku, Krillin, and Chaozu. King Kai, however, tells Bulma that she's misinformed and points out that Chaozu can be revived on Earth, but Goku and Krillin would return to life on planet Namek, which no longer exists. In the face of this shocking revelation, Bulma stands silent. Gohan is surprised that his father and Krillin can't be brought back to life, and Bulma explains the reasons to him. Vegeta then suggests a solution, proposing that the group transfer their souls to Earth and then bring them back to life. Bulma approves of the idea, and Gohan expresses gratitude, offering to shake Vegeta's hand. However, Vegeta dismisses the gesture, warning against getting carried away. Privately, Vegeta states that he only wishes to see the Super Saiyan transformation with his own eyes, and says that Goku will one day know defeat by his own hands. At the same time, Mori expresses gratitude to the Earthlings, but requests a place to stay until the Dragon Balls rejuvenate so they can find a new home. Bulma invites them to live at her house, extending the offer to Vegeta as well. She playfully mentions feeding Vegeta generously, claiming he eats as much as Goku, and tells him not to get flirty with her, as she can be pretty hard to resist. Despite her charm though, Vegeta considers her a vulgar woman with a big mouth. Bulma heads to a nearby house to borrow a phone, intending to have her dad pick them up in a spaceship. Before leaving, Gohan questions if he can stay at Bulma's house as well, as he forgot to do his homework and fears the impending scolding from his mother. Thus, Vegeta and the Namekians stay at Bulma's house in West City. After 130 days, the Namekian Dragon Balls are restored, and they summon Porunga at Capsule Corporation. Mori politely advises the Earthlings to use all 3 wishes this time, and states they'll use their wishes next time. Bulma then tells Porunga to bring the souls of Goku and Krillin to Earth. Dende repeats the wish in Namekian, and Porunga states he's brought Krillin's soul, but reveals he couldn't summon Goku's because he's alive. Although relieved that Goku is alive, everyone wonders why he hasn't returned home. Gohan suggests that Goku's spaceship may be broken, and Bulma's second wish is to revive Krillin, who appears in front of them. Porunga mentions he provided a special service of restoring Krillin's body and clothing, and Bulma comments on his scary face, but acknowledges his good work. Bulma's final wish is to bring Goku to Earth, but Porunga, after a pause, informs them that Goku refused, wanting to return home on his own. Gohan questions why, and Master Roshi jokingly suggests it's because of Goku's scary wife, referring to Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi then pulls out a sword, prompting Roshi to backtrack, claiming it was just a joke. Piccolo proposes bringing someone from King Kai's planet back to life instead, and Yamcha is the first to be brought back to life. After another 130 days, Chaozu and Tien are revived, and the Namekians use the final wish to relocate themselves, along with the Dragon Balls, to a new planet. All ends well, but approximately 1 year passes, and son Goku has yet to return home. Many consider the Frieza Saga to be the greatest saga in all of Dragon Ball, given its amazing choreography, storytelling, and reveal of the Super Saiyan, whose transformation still surprises many to this day. Although this saga in the anime may have dragged on a bit due to the time limit on Namek, the manga was obviously more fast-paced, but left out some details that we all loved, such as Vegeta witnessing Goku's Super Saiyan form on Namek before disappearing. Regardless, both versions of the story are great, and I'm glad I got to retell it again for you guys. But what do you guys think of this arc? What was your favorite part? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.